Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy King Chaos coming at you with episode 1 of the Chaos Realm podcast. And now I want to introduce to you my co host and best friend, the Devil's Elite.
Hey guys, how's it going? Name's Devil. Rum's the game. Podcast the game. How you doing?
So, what are you drinking today, Mick? What are you drinking today?
Today I got an 80 proof homebrew that I got for working for a buddy of mine, and dark rum, and it's got a nice little mix of Coke, but more like a Newfoundlander mix, half and half.
Oh, okay, yeah. I've got
So that's
like this, what I would equivalent to like a really cheap domestic beer in Canada, okay? It's Desperados. It's imported from Mexico, but it's like tequila beer. It's got this really weird sweet aftertaste. I would
okay.
I would say it's probably no virus intended here, but it's a step up version of Corona.
uh, I love. Before we even get into the topics and shit, I just want to say a piece on that. Sales in Corona went down because people thought that was part of the virus.
But that's a complete utter failure on like the entire North American education system.
Absolutely.
Because people in Europe did not go apeshit for toilet paper. They did not bulk buy. They just bought a lot of flour and pasta. Because that's what they're just going to eat, which is fine. But, people were reasonable in the stores. Like, there were lines the first few days, but it wasn't too bad. North America just lost their mind, which is what they do best. And it's a great bit of entertainment for me because being from North America, you're like, oh, Lord.
Oh, sweet baby Jesus.
So what have you been doing this week? What's new with you? You got a computer, right?
Oh, absolutely. The only reason that we're doing this.
Yeah, well, I think it's unfortunate with what you spent on the computer and the current condition of the Canadian dollar that you were only able to get a 1660 Ti. 1660 Ti is good, but a 2060 would have been that step up. But I know that because of people buying a lot, especially during quarantine, all the prices have gone up. And so things are not quite as easy to get your hands on as they once were. Like, for example, before lockdown, I was able to actually pick up an SSD, 1 terabyte Samsung 860 Evo SSD for like less than $100. Right now on Amazon, that same drive is like almost 260 euros. So, but it's all secondary sellers because there's nothing left directly at the Amazon warehouse.
Yeah.
So what have you been listening to? What have you been playing?
Listening to now, I've been branching out a lot more to just recommended genres and just playing the whole shuffle mix on Spotify. Like, a lot of NF has been popping up. I've never heard of them before.
NF is good. He's good.
Yeah.
Oh, I like him.
I'm loving it so far.
I actually bought his the most recent album, like the therapy session.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's good. It's super good.
And gaming wise, well, you know me, I got all my old school games coming in.
Yeah.
So you're gonna see a lot of that on the channel too. So there's gonna be like Kingdom Under Fire, Age of Mythology, Baldur's Gate, Majesty as the previously in mine, and you and me are gonna be doing some Diablo 2.
Oh, fuck
or Diablo 3, but we're doing that too.
If I can get my hands on Diablo 2, like an official copy of Diablo 2, I would actually like to play 2 again because I no longer have access to that. So if I can get it, I'm gonna get it. But if not, sad face. Speaking of Diablo 3, I dinged 70 last night. So we're doing Paragon now. But I'm still having like damage output issues. I'm under 100k base damage stat on the Necro. So, it's okay. But because I have so much health, like I have plus 2 million toughness.
Nice.
Because the legendaries that I've been picking up are just like, holy shit. And I picked up this pair of boots that had like plus 410% recovery. was like, that's the perfect balancer to that mace that I picked up. So that was really good. Oh, I just finished up watching this TV show. It's called Superstore. Have you ever seen it before?
No, I haven't.
Oh my god. So, do you like The Office? Do you think The Office is funny? Okay, this is the immature, unskilled labor version of The Office because they're all retail store workers in like a Walmart, basically.
Okay.
That you barely see them actually doing any work because it's all shenanigans, and it's so there's an actor, the store manager. His name's Glenn. He's one of the guys from Kids in the Hall.
No way.
Yeah. And he's doing this crazy, hilarious, high-pitched voice. I think it's an absolute riot. Hey, Senpai, how you doing? Have I tried what? What have I tried? I also have got my sexy annual sunburn, my permanent sunburn.
I've been looking at that a lot.
Not to be a cunt. I'm not a cunt, Senpai. I'm very nice. You know, I'm Canadian. I'm supposed to be nice.
Supposed to be. Allegedly.
My fingers. Anyway, so, what else is new? What else is new over there? My finger slipped. Oh, Senpai. So you have some things you want to talk about, don't you?
Sure do.
Oh,
so
I don't see
first,
my which one is the Forbes one?
Uh-oh.
No, it's this one. So, face off: local buy versus global buy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna let you lead this off because this is your thing.
All right.
Who's the other cunt? He's my best friend. We're a combo of cunts together.
Yeah, we're like when you expect only one bomb ass pussy, but you get two out of the deal.
Oh, okay, simmer. Bomb ass. Jesus. But yeah, these last 2 weeks I think have been just absolute anarchy on the face of the earth. Like, what the fuck is going on out there? Nah, you're Australian. It's like a license to keep your citizenship. That's okay. We totally understand it.
Oh yeah, you're fine. Don't you worry about that.
It's like if we don't apologize 100 times a day, we lose our citizenship.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. How you doing? Sorry.
Just hit up the Jimmy's, eh?
Okay, local buying versus global buying.
All right,
Where do you sit in general?
In general, I like local.
Okay.
To be honest, I like to support local businesses because in and around small businesses, I learned to appreciate more.
Right.
As I get older, like most of the time, I was just like, nah, you just buy from anywhere you go. You don't think about where the funds are going, what you're doing. And then as I actually started to see, especially because I'm self-employed as a taper myself, I start to appreciate more of like local goods, local trades and services,
So
rather than
on the topic of drywallers, though, all of your drywall comes from the States. How do you feel on that? Because all of the Arab life. Oh, yeah. Lord, Senpai. You got to simmer, dude. He's so fucking funny, this guy. Yeah, Senpai's got an interesting story, I'll tell you.
I see that. All right. But no, like, I'm okay with it being from the U.S. That's fine.
But you're
as
pissed
long
that
as,
the
like,
Harper government, put that tariff on drywall and cost $80 a sheet.
Yeah, I'm not impressed with the price. What I am impressed with is how little they can fucking deliver it. So they'll deliver $1 per sheet.
Really?
$1 per sheet of drywall. Yeah, I was at a job site yesterday, and I was actually helping the drywallers in that part because they were short a guy, and I said, "Sure, fuck it, I'll go here, and then I'll tape next couple hours." But helping them out, and yeah, the guy told me the pricing. He's like, I wouldn't fucking do this. I was like, what do you mean? It's decent workout, yada yada. He's like, it's $1 per sheet. They're undercharging. Yeah. And I'm like, is that normal? And he's like, yeah, absolutely normal.
Well, undercharging is huge in North America. It's a nice mic, Chaos, you basic boy. I'm using the same quality microphone on the same price bracket. Actually, I am about to order a new microphone, though. So, yeah. It's going to be an XLR mic.
But no, I went for flashy red. That's why. It's just me. This is how I roll.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily into the whole light up microphone thing, but I'm also currently using a USB mic,
Mm-hmm.
but it works for now. But I just
Exactly.
changed
We
its
upgrade
position.
as we go.
His mic looks more cool. You can't even see my mic. I just have a pop filter and an actual microphone stand. He's on a box, okay? That Quadcast is sitting on a box.
Absolutely
Destroyed.
Hey,
Anyway,
I mean,
so drywall pricing.
as I told you before, this is just gonna go to us rambling on for fucking hours at a time.
That's what makes good content, though.
It is.
Natural
Time
chemistry is
management
best chemistry.
out the window, but content, we're loaded.
Oh yeah, you'd be here for days.
But so when I started learning more about like the actual small businesses themselves, like local groomers instead of for pets, and like hairstylists going,
Well, your
that
stepmom's a pet groomer, right? She runs a pet grooming business.
she was she quit.
She's not anymore.
Well, no, because you remember my sister was living with them in the garage, and
That's right.
pipes were just pretty shitty. So after she moved out, my dad just basically gave up on the pipes.
Okay.
Because they're really bad.
Yeah.
And also, I think Kelly got busy with some shit. I don't know what she does, but she got busy. She was working at our school, except for in the elementary side.
Really?
Yeah.
Stepmom suspect as fuck. What do you think about that, Mick? Actually, fun story about Mick's stepmom.
Oh boy.
Everybody thinks she's a bomb piece of ass. Like they all about Mick's stepmom, but yet they don't.
Even the chicks in our grade.
Yeah, they're like, dude, your stepmom's hot as fuck.
Frankie's like, I ain't gonna lie, I want to tap your mom, and I was like, God damn it, Frankie.
I'm gonna tap your mom. Oh god. Anyway, so here we go. We're rambling off again.
Okay, so, you already asked for my stance. Now for the actual thing. Shit, you made me lose my spot.
I know, sorry.
It's okay. So there's an actual act that contributes heavily on the globalization purchase. It's in the U.S. It's the Buy American Act of 1933, required by the U.S. government to prioritize American-made products in the procedure purchases. So
procurement. It says procurement.
You know what?
You parle anglais, huh?
No hablo inglés.
No hablo inglés. No. So I typically do my best to support local businesses, but there have been some times where I have been burned really bad by local businesses and their shitty business practices, which is why lately I've been just veering further away from retail stores, unless it's for things like Magic the Gathering, hard copy video games, collector's pieces, stuff like that. You have work from 8 to 2 p.m. You work now, senpai? No, not in school, so daddy made you work. Eh?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I lately have been purchasing a lot from like Amazon and other online retailers, because I typically don't like to deal with retail staff because they treat people. This guy's a lawyer. How the fuck he? He's not a lawyer. We like to think we are, though.
I mean, but I did take a year of it and took a.
Yeah, but then you flunked out of it. You didn't take the bar. You didn't take the bar.
I took a bar because, my aunt was a lawyer and she had access to the actual bar itself.
Yeah. Oh,
so
she's not on the, she's not on the Winnipeg Bar Association, is she?
She's retired now. So.
Okay. Anyway,
she still has a lot of connection to access, yada yada. Anyway,
back on this. There's a lot of things about the Buy American that I disagree with. Like, first off, making Apple, for example, move their manufacturing plant to the States. Why? So iPhones can cost $9,000.
Yeah,
like,
I don't even want to.
This is not okay. at all. But no problem, senpai. So if you have you have an iPhone that costs 10 grand now because you have to bring in the RAM, the memory chips, everything from like South Asia over to the States to be assembled at a plant in, say, Silicon Valley. Does that sound like a good idea to you? If continuing that, let's look at local found all the. Oh my god, what is their company name called? It's slipping in my mind. Anyway, the guys who make the graphics cards, like all the silicone for graphics cards and CPUs. If we move that to the States, there are gonna be a huge price increase. So there are, I'm okay with buy local, but not necessarily with manufacture local, because the price increase. Because average worker pay in North America is a lot higher than other countries that have manufacturing industries.
Yeah, that's just a given.
So if you have to pay a worker, say, $24 an hour at a Foxconn plant in the States, get better internet, senpai. Right. That's what you have to look at. You got to weigh the pros and cons.
Mm-hmm.
Each, retail stores have their place versus online stores. For example, if I want to try on clothes, I'm going to go to a retail store, try on clothes, and hopefully not have a snarky ass Karen who works there who tells me I look like shit in that t-shirt. I'm sorry, but this is not okay.
Yeah.
Or you have someone who just refuses to help you,
I think I have a funny story about that in a clothing store. So
I want to hear this.
So I'm going with a chick I'm seeing at the time, and she's going to just buy something, whatever. Goes for a jacket and some sort of frilly thing. She was really into I would say it was a mix between Gaga style and a Taylor Swift style. Now you don't see that often.
Whoa.
Pretty whack. Pretty whack.
That sounds fun.
So country freaky chick. Anyway, and so she's got a silver fuzzy scarf thing, where you could rip the fur out.
Okay.
Not
yeah.
Not like one of those sewn together ones, just loose. And she's got big hoops, and she goes for this crop top. And this fucking woman, comes up to her and says, excuse me, I need that.
Okay, Karen.
I was on my way to it. And I raised my eyebrow at her, you handling this or me?
If you're handling it, you're gonna get called a sexist and chased out of the store.
Yeah, no kidding. And then she's just like, I got it. No, it's first come, first serve, as it usually is. She's like, she immediately pulls the single mom, and I had to watch my kids first.
God.
Okay? So she goes, and she's just like, I had to go and make sure my child knew where the washroom was, but I needed this shirt. Okay? I barely get to have time to myself taking care of my 3 kids. 3 kids by yourself, hopefully all the same dad. Anyway.
Karens. Karens are literal cancer to society right now.
They sure are.
If you're out there and you're a Karen, please stop. Actually, wait. Hold on. Is it gonna work? Yeah.
Oh.
Just stop.
Okay.
Just stop. Stop. No. Just stop.
Just stop being a Karen, okay? Just end it. End it where you are.
Good shit. But so she goes, physically tries to grab it out of her hand. And that's of course, where I draw the line. You don't touch my woman.
Yeah,
right?
Don't be stepping in on that.
Yeah, so it's just excuse me, do not touch her. And that's all I said. And I get called, the list goes as followed. You sexist, piece of shit bigot.
Oh, God.
I bet you support Trump. I bet you treat her like shit, you abusive asshole.
Oh, Lord.
How dare you touch my hand?
Well, first off, she already assaulted your girlfriend. So,
Yeah.
here's
And
where
I'm
we are.
sitting there, I'm like, okay, lady, you need to leave. Go get your kids.
Yeah.
And,
Lady, you're not getting this t-shirt today.
yeah. So, thankfully, she left in a huff.
See, that's the thing. I feel bad for customer service desk representatives because you have to deal with boomers and Karens all day. They either don't have their receipt or they bought it 6 months ago and they're like, "Oh, can I get a full cash refund on this, please? You know,
Or the standardized
my Medicare
check.
hasn't come in yet." Oh, or whatever. Like, just treat people nicer. You don't have to be a dick. They're not
Right.
there to be your punching bag. They hate the job as much as you would. But they're doing the job to get some money to put some food on their table so they don't starve to death. And then they have to come to work and be berated by an 80-year-old lady who's like, "I have more life experience than you. You need to treat me right. The customer's always right." First off, the customer has never, ever been right. That is the stupidest mentality you can have. Don't walk in there and be like, "Customer's always right." No,
Fun fact,
you're not.
that was a cover-up campaign started in local restaurants in around 1970 to keep people from being assholes to their workers.
Okay. Well, the customer's not right. First off, if I walk into the Pancake House and I say, "Hey, can I get a T-bone steak?" They're like, "Sir, we don't sell T-bone steaks here." You'd be like, "Well, the customer's always right.
Right.
Go get me a T-bone
Bitch,
steak."
Give me a
Like,
steak.
I look stupid, right? Like, no,
Yeah.
this is not okay.
Oh,
So
dumb.
local versus global. Sure,
Yeah.
in the short term and in many cases the long term, depending on the life of the business, it is great for local economies. And that's what I used to do, especially with like my Magic the Gathering. I would always support the local stores. Even if sometimes I disagreed with a few of their policies. For example, Fusion, my favorite LGS in the entire city of Winnipeg. But as they started to get big, they started to change a few things. And it was like, not necessarily okay with that. But because I have so much business history with them, I'm not going to just stop.
Yeah. Now that they're big and they're kind of like adapting to it, I've even seen myself not going there as often before Corona.
Well,
obviously.
the main issue is actually some of the player base that does attend the store. No offense to the guys that I know that still go there, that are like the coolest freaking guys out there. But I'm talking about the tryhards that are grinding tournaments and be like, "Oh, I'm a professional player." It's like, have you ever made any money? Well, no. Then you're not professional. Period.
You ever been to Seattle?
If you've ever had a seat at a pro tour, that's professional. If you haven't, guess what?
You're
not professional. But there's a lot of tryhards that go there because they host things like the 5K tournament, the 1.5K standards, all that
modern
stuff. Modern, and even they used to host Legacy. They don't really do it anymore. Legacy is actually kind of a dead scene in Winnipeg. But here in Strasbourg, Legacy is huge. I actually get to play a lot of Legacy here.
And you must be happy.
I'm pretty happy because those cards are expensive, and I would like to use them once in a while.
No kidding.
But, and another thing, like PNP Games in Winnipeg, for example, best retro spot, but they do have some shitty business policies.
And some shitty prices.
Oh, God, yeah. Like, for example, what was it?
GameCube controller.
GameCube,
$65.
Not even a licensed GameCube controller, mind you.
Nope. Like shitty
They're the
little
no-name ones.
$65. Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, $182.
Is that what it's up to now?
That's what it was at when I went there last.
Well, before I left Canada, I had done I had done some major collection pickups just to get the pieces I needed for my GameCube collection and old Nintendo stuff.
That you wouldn't find in Europe.
That I'm not going to... Well, first off, you're not going to... The amount of NTFC games you actually see here is abnormally high because a lot of people buy shit from North America to get the US consoles. And then they'll sell them, like when they're done with them, they'll sell them to like the local video game shops. And Strasbourg has a lot of them. When I got here and all my stuff finally arrived, I realized that I had to go buy cables because none of these actually supported voltage across the cable. I needed the actual step down bricks. So I ended up going to like 5 or 6 different game stores looking for the cables, and I managed to find them all except for the GameCube power brick, which I ended up getting on eBay, which was fine. But I supported those local businesses to get those cables instead of, say, the big store, which was there's a big store in the city center. It's called Fnac, and it's like a Best Buy, and they have a bunch of everything in there. They even have a huge library section, which is like manga, anime, all that good shit up there. But the main thing is their electronics section that's just huge. And they sell cables, like French cables to the 2-pin power for like the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox and all that. But I was like, well, I'm sure a local business could use this cash flow more than a multi-million-dollar corporation like Fnac.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I look at most purchases I try to make. So like, because even if it is a slightly higher price, because for them to get the product, it's a lot harder than for a major business. I tend to like budget my way to support a local rather than, just go for the cheapest shit now that I'm a little more economically stable.
Yeah.
Right? Like back in the day, like when me and you were just out of high school and shit, we were like cheap as shit. Get whatever.
Yeah, find the lowest price on eBay possible with 0 shipping.
Yeah.
Get
right?
it done.
And now we're sitting here, we can enjoy the finer things and support locally. And I guess for like most people, it depends on your balance itself. Like how much you make versus how much you spend.
Right. The money in, money out.
Heavily on that for whether or not you can support local or support global.
Well, yeah, that's the issue because like global companies are pricing the small guys out. Because if I look, for example, let's say, what is something I recently just bought local? Okay, I got these LED strips for my desk.
Yeah, I was gonna say the ones that your cat chewed up.
Yeah, so this local is like €22.50 or whatever. Amazon, it was like $17 for the same ones. Plus, I already had Prime, so there's no shipping.
I'm gonna have to get a converter for fucking.
You need that converter. So I end up just being like, "Fuck it, I'll get it local." Even though, like, right now to go through local, you have to put a mask on. You have to, no contact. Put your face shield over. Keep using hand sanitizer in every store till your hands bleed. It's unpleasant to do local retail shopping right now, which is unfortunate because a lot of people are like, you got to open the local shops. But then the government's like, no, don't go to the local shops. It's not safe. So what do you want us to do? Like, sit around with our thumb in our ass all day?
Well, I mean, I'm sure someone would enjoy that, but...
Well, I know a few people do, but, but they'd still like to be going to the local shop to get it done,
Yeah, exactly.
But, so, speaking of... So, there are times, though, where a local business will burn you. And I got burned really bad recently by a local business here in Strasbourg. Well, actually, they're in Vendenheim. But it's basically like a neighborhood super close to the city.
I'm going to pretend like I know the European map.
I know. The whole map of Azaz. Just look at it, understand it, learn it. Anyways, there's a because you know how in Canada you have Memory Express, and in some states you have Micro Center. This store is the equivalent of those two. Okay. So it's all over France. It's called Material.net. That is also a conglomerate of LDLC. Okay? They're the same business.
Okay.
Now, these people are trying to use consumer level product replacement to do RMAs. You can't do that as a business. That is not allowed. So I ordered a kit of RAM. Corsair Vengeance RGB Pro RAM. Right? Mm-hmm. Easy stuff. I've never had to RMA products before, but it does happen. So I half expect it all the time. When I open the box, something might be broken or it's DOA. So I get this kit of RAM, plug it in my computer, no post. I'm like, okay, let's see. Maybe I have a dead slot on the board that I didn't know because I was only using 2 slots before. No problem. Play musical RAM, move it around. Okay, still no post. So I try each individual stick and I find the one that's not posting. So I look at it and it's got like some kind of power capacitor is just missing flat out from its spot. It's just not there. So I send an email to material.net saying, hey, this kit of RAM, one of the sticks is bad. How do we proceed from here? So so you can return it to the store. We'll send a replacement kit to the store in Strasbourg, and you can go exchange the 2. I was like, no problem. So I sent them pictures of the missing capacitor, right? Yeah. They then try to claim that I physically damaged the RAM. Keep in mind, there was no paint scratches, no PCB scuff at all. The thing is just not there. And they're like, Corsair doesn't cover physical damage. I'm like, I fucking know that. I'm not stupid. But, so they send this. So I end up getting a replacement kit before they send the reply. So I take it home, put it in, boom, it works. We're playing games, all happy. Got 32 gigs of RAM, everything's good. And then they send an email saying that you physically damaged this RAM. I'm like, are you dense? Read the emails that I just sent you. You already knew that thing was missing. They're like, oh, sorry, there's nothing we can do. So what you can either do is return the RAM we sent you, and we'll send you back your broken kit, or you can pay again for this new kit we sent you, and we'll send you back your broken kit. I'm like, fuck no. You're a business. You can't use consumer level protections. You have business level protections. So I send an email to Corsair. Hey, I'm getting screwed over by this store, blah, blah, blah. Here's the pictures they sent. Here's the pictures I took. And they're like, yeah, that's a manufacturer's defect. No problem. Here's the shipping address. Please send it to us here. So I take it over to the post office. Boom. And today I just got an email saying we have received your product. Yes, this is confirmed. A manufacturer's defect. And we are sending you a replacement now. That's how you do business.
Exactly.
And keep in mind, Corsair is a global company now, but they have good RMAs, in my experience.
They kept their small business methodology? I don't know. Mentality. That works too.
But yeah, I was not impressed. So if you're in the Strasbourg area and you're wanting to buy a computer, don't go there. Do not go to material.net. Do not purchase from LDLC. And I want you all to review bomb the shit out of them because they are horrible fucking people. And they were rude to me when I went back in there to drop off the RAM and exchange it. They were so pissed that I wouldn't just pay a second time for the same kit of RAM.
It's like, really?
I'm like, fuck no. Absolutely not. So I ended up just buying like a temporary kit off a friend and then, until that one comes. And then I'll give him back his RAM. I was not happy. I was very mad.
Key point on that too. It just goes to show that smaller businesses, you have to keep your reputation at the highest up until you hit global. Yeah. Because global means you're fucking fine regardless of whatever small incidents happen.
Like LDLC and Material are not necessarily global companies. They're a very much national to France, but they're the computer store that people go to. So and because computer products in Europe are already more expensive on average than they would be in the United States, people have very limited options in terms of where they can actually go to get parts.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of shops. So what a lot of people in Strasbourg do is they just order the computer from Amazon because Amazon has that no questions asked, return policy or exchange.
Mm-hmm.
It's really frustrating though with this crap that they pull some days.
Only some days.
So anyway, on the article here, is there anything else you wanted to actually say on this?
Well, we did cover a lot of the actual bullet points just based on our stories alone. So
Okay.
I'm pretty impressed with the amount that we covered just
Yeah.
through
We're
shooting
at
the
the
shit.
43-minute mark and we've done one topic.
Well, I told you that's about gonna happen.
So
Time management
I guess we
is
can
the fucking
jump
hell.
into topic 2 then. So Intel's 10th generation of CPUs. The reviews are out. And they're not great. They're not like, okay, they are still the fastest gaming CPU on the market. If you buy a 10900K and overclock the shit out of it, you're gonna wipe you can have like what was it, a 10 or 6 frame per second difference between, say, a 10900K and a 3950X. Keep in mind though that if you were doing other things, say video editing, streaming, whatever, buy a 3950X or a 3900X because you have more cores, more threads, and they're cheaper. There is no reason if you currently today own a 9900K, no reason to change because you'll be good
Not
for
at
the
all.
next like 6 years. It's insane.
With minor adjustments.
Like, they're still 14 nanometer. I know that you might not necessarily be too familiar with this kind of stuff, but anyway, so I think 7th generation Extreme Edition and the 6th generation Extreme Editions were 10 core 20 thread. So a 6950X, which was a $2,000 processor, was 10 core 20 threads. That's how much money you had to shell out to get that core count.
Mm-hmm.
We fast forward a few years now to 2020. The 10900K consumer level chip is 10 core 20 thread. Well, I can go to the AMD consumer level, not Threadripper, but the AM4 socket, and get a 16 core 32 thread for like $100 less.
Mm-hmm.
What would you buy in that case? You have 10 core 20 thread, 16 core 32 thread? Come on. It's a no-brainer.
16, man. Like, you just easy buys. Plus,
Yeah.
it's $100 plus.
Now, currently though, because everybody's still pre-release BIOS on the motherboards, we're not fully dialed in. Totally understandable. So things might change. The gap could get really big. They could even, I mean, it's very unlikely that they'll do it. But Intel could lower the price. Could. Not saying they will. But
Probably not.
Now, apparently, because like I use Gamers Nexus for a lot of stuff. They make really in-depth reviews, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And Steven Berg is a great guy. Like, he's really smart. He knows what he's doing. So Intel's changed the way that they attach the chips to the integrated heat spreader.
Mm-hmm.
The issue is that apparently they're still either round or concaved, so you have to lap the integrated heat spreader. So you're going to still have temperature problems sometimes.
Yeah.
Now, where's his Now, a lot of people like the fanboys, I'm meaning, who fight with each other all the time on Intel versus AMD, are nitpicking Intel on power draw. Keep in mind, AMD at one point had like a 250 watt CPU. It was the FX 9590. Thing was a monster. It was so hot, like 1.5 volts. It's just stupid. Anyway, but it was still not as fast as anything Intel had out at the same time. This is a completely different ballgame we're playing because Ryzen is super good. So like when I was upgrading my main system, I was very torn. Do I go Intel or do I go Ryzen? So I ended up with a slightly tighter budget than I had expected from an upgrade cycle. So I went Ryzen to have more cores, more threads for less. And I was able to save a little bit instead of going Intel. But like, so here we go. So current power limit settings like 125 watts. But you like, they have a maximum TDP on the 10900K at like 250. That's huge. That's a lot of power draw on just your CPU. So like, if you have a budget build that you end up expanding, but you only bought like a 700 watt power supply and you try to go 2080 Ti and 10900K on that same power supply, you're gonna have some problems. Now, So we have the overclocking benchmarks. Okay, this is just his normal page. This is what I'm most concerned with. This CPU, the i5-10400. Don't buy this. Do not, under any circumstance, buy this. If you are going to buy this, just throw your money in the garbage because you're wasting it.
Or burn it.
So this is a locked CPU. You cannot overclock this at all. So the speed it's got, that's it. So it's a 6-core, 12-thread CPU. So basically, it's an 8700K or an 8700 because it's the same architecture, 14 nanometer. No matter how many pluses you stick on the end of 14 nanometer, 14 is 14. So this thing is supposed to come out, or it's out. I don't even care. I'm not buying it. And it's got this recommended price of 182. I wouldn't even pay that. Not when you can get a 3300 or something else off the AMD, which allows you to overclock, because all the AMD chips are unlocked. The cheapest chip to the most expensive chip, they're all unlocked and you can overclock them. But I want to talk about the base frequency on this. Look at this, 2.9. You know what else has a base frequency? Laptop chips of this speed.
Oof.
But it has a max turbo frequency of like 4.3. Now, in Steven's review, this is Diablo. No, Steven's review, he said that it ended up doing an all-core clock of like 4.1 or something, which is not terrible. So if you're gaming, you're still going to have really good speed, depending on your cooling situation. But you can't overclock it. You end up, like, even if you stuck it on a Z490 motherboard, there's nothing you could do. You're stuck. Don't buy this. This is garbage. But Intel's like, oh, but look at this low price. You get this 6-core, 12-thread working machine. Like, no, don't do that. Just at least get the K-SKU i5. If you're going i5, get the 10600 or whatever you're going to do. Anyway, so that's all I actually have to say on the Intel 10th generation. I'm not that impressed. I'm waiting for Ryzen or Zen 3, Ryzen 4000 series, because depending on how many cores they shove into like the 4900X or whatever, will depend on if I get a 3900 or not.
I personally don't have too much input, but I will say that I've always been a fan of Ryzen.
Well, it's just so compelling. Like, look at the
9 times out of 10, they just look so damn good, and they work.
Well, Intel. Let me see if I have a. Yeah. Okay. So here, let me check this box for you. So Intel has had the same shitty stock cooler since like the 775 socket. And if you know that socket is pretty old. And they're not pretty. But, if you buy 2700X, 1800... No, sorry, not the 1800. Only 2700X and 3700X or whatever gets that Wraith Prism RGB cooler. It looks pretty fucking cool by itself. So you get... And it's a decent cooler. Like, it does a pretty good job of letting Ryzen boost to its targeted clocks. But... Intel's just like, here, have the shitty box cooler or have no box cooler at all. And I hope that you have a cooler. Because that's what you get when you buy Extreme Edition CPUs from Intel. They don't come with a cooler. They expect that you're owning a cooler. Which, I mean, I kind of get, because, like, if you're spending that $2,000 on a CPU, you probably have some monster machine you're putting it in. Custom water cooling loop or whatever you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, anyway, moving on from Intel.
Throw that garbage.
Oh, you want to do mobile companies?
Oh boy. Yeah.
Why do mobile gaming companies use fake ads? Oh, I wonder why.
Wonder why. Well,
because they're all shit games. All of them.
You think Raid got as big as they did because they were an honest fucking company?
I have seen streamers streaming Raid Shady Lemons on Twitch. I'm just like, dude, what are you doing? This game is trash. That's an internet historian joke for you. That if you don't watch Internet Historian right now on YouTube, what are you doing with your life?
Other than masturbating profusely.
No, you could do the same. You can do them both at the same time. If you have more than one screen or piece of technology, you could do both of those things.
Just make sure your camera's off.
Yeah, because some Twitch streamers accidentally leave their camera on.
See?
I'm wearing a nice low cut shirt today, right? And I was like, maybe I should start an OnlyFans. I'm only gonna sell pictures of me fresh coming home from work. So I'm all sweaty. I'm covered in sawdust and dirt. You know, maybe like oxidization from nails is on my face because I touch my face a lot.
Stop it, Cody.
And I'm just like, dude, this is fine because if where's the equality, right? If all of these streamers and people on YouTube are also having OnlyFans, why can't I have an OnlyFans?
Right?
Yeah. I'm sure somebody's into that. I'm sure somebody's into like, weird tan lines, bad sunburns, and sawdust.
Man, I was gonna say you should start one and just have like a big giant red blob as your picture.
Like Super Meat Boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all you can see.
So, why do mobile gaming companies use fake ads? I'm gonna let you take the lead on this one.
So, for the people who remember the early years of Facebook gaming, where it was just like your gardening games or like the very small intro into the RTS style.
Farmville was ballin' as hell.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure if I signed into Farmville now, I could probably have some dead plants.
Just a few. But so that's when it was like super honest and you got what you saw, whatever. You didn't get to see much either. Like there wasn't a lot of time into it. It's just like here's a tab for games, go nuts.
Yep.
That's it. And as the years progressed and we use Facebook for other things and it gets extremely popular.
You mean fake news, right? Is what we use Facebook for. Fake news.
Yeah, fake news. Everything stopped getting filtered. It wasn't where Facebook was a reliable source anymore, which it barely was even in the beginning.
Like it's a if you're setting the bar low.
Yeah. It was like you could believe about 40% of what someone was telling you if it was on Facebook back then. Now, maybe 2%. But
nah, I wouldn't even give them 2%.
That's fair.
The Zuckerberg algorithm doesn't weed out fake news. It just promotes it because the more hits something gets, the closer to the top it gets, right?
The more moolah he makes.
So if somebody makes a fake Trump tweet, and believe me, that's pretty hard to do because he makes his own outrageous tweets.
Oh yeah.
Like just the one the other day, right? When the looting starts, the shooting starts. Good Lord. I
don't even want to touch base.
I'm not American, so we're not getting into that. But fake news gets pushed so in your face. It's like, dude, that's not a thing. You can get an article, you get the picture of an article from 10 years ago, and they're talking about it now like it just happened. Like, dude, what the fuck is this?
Speaking of which, just like that wedding where the guy's wife died, as he was planning the wedding day, and the company, the photo company that he was going to, they refused a refund because his wife died, and so then he goes and asks for social media to help him out, whatever, and just slanders this company, and the company responds after a while saying that one of their people killed themselves due to the cyberbullying of this, yada yada. Fact check it. And that was 2 years ago that she died, and they just tried to slip that in there like it was a link to try and recover their business.
Well,
and it wasn't even a large sum of amount of money either that they just tried to save.
So do you still watch South Park?
I sure do.
Oh yeah, okay. So have you seen the episode where they were doing the ads? Where what the hell's her name? That little girl, so the girl in their school that PC principal keeps targeting. She's he's like, shut the fuck up. Leslie, that's her name. Leslie, shut the fuck up. She's an ad. And Jimmy starts to notice weird things. And Jimmy ends up caught in with these news guys. And he comes in, he's like, does she know? Does she know she's an ad? And suddenly the ads are following Kyle across the screen, and everything that he's clicking on is an ad. And like, this is where we've come to on social media and the internet. Like, people who just click on stuff and don't read things are like getting just destroyed on the internet because they're just getting overloaded with false information. But like, that episode was pretty accurate.
It really sets you up for like what's real, what's fake. It also could cause a crisis.
I want to make a comment on this picture. This one here, like the 95% of people can't solve it. You know how many times a day I see this with like a different shitty puzzle game?
Yeah. I see it so often and I'm like, man, these are so easy.
And like, and then you get to play now and you click on it, right? And it pops up with this game that has like a million hits of fake accounts. Because they're just like 0001, 0002, like just making 5-star reviews.
Yep.
Actually, it reminds me. So TikTok got review bombed on the Google Play Store by India.
Thank God.
And TikTok is cancer, so that's okay in my book. But not on the Apple Store. It's still holding strong at like a 4.2.
I hate TikTok. I hated it when it was Musically, and I hate it now.
I didn't mind Musically before the non-music content happened.
Yeah. Well, okay, yeah, I can agree with that. But as soon as like some sketchy shit where I questioned whether or not this was a jailbait, then
Yeah, you got to be real careful with that. So like the assumption would be that companies run fake game ads. Obviously, because the game I want the RTS games. You know that one where it's like the girl, she's sitting there, she's like, "Oh my god, I'm going to use my cavalry." "Oh no, all my cavalry died." "Oh, I'm going to use archers." "Oh, I can use a different formation." Like, she's not playing the game. She's clearly not into it, but it's all over YouTube. And you see this ad.
Understand it.
"Oh my god, what happened to my cavalry? I've been decimated." And people wonder and you wonder why people use ad block. The ads aren't even good.
Like, I sit there and like for Lords Mobile, for example, it does that exact thing.
Yeah.
I've played Lords Mobile.
It's not like that at all.
It's shit.
It doesn't look like
it's
that.
Like everything else with something that's slightly different. That's what most of these games where you sit, these RTSs that are on mobile, they have the same thing, same style. They just have 1 to 2 different aspects, whether it be combat related, hero progression, or building style. That's it. That's all they have is just 1 to 3 things that are different. Everything else is the same, so you could just pick it up and go. And then the post ads of like, I'm pretty sure they spent more time on the graphics in the ads than they do in the actual game. Like, it's so dumb.
I think
because
that there's
fight scenes and shit, but you don't get to see any of that in the actual game.
I think there's a company that just makes stock footage of games, and so like they could sell you a license for, like, for example, Lords. Like who makes that footage? I don't think it's them, because I don't think they're skilled enough to make that.
No, their company is way too small for them to fucking have that.
How much do you know? Because like, there's a lot of YouTubers that have talked about Raid Shadow Legends. Raid Shadow Legends will sponsor anybody, but you have to follow like this vigorous routine for the video, for the ad spot.
Oh yeah.
Like, I've seen, it's like a 2-page detailed list. You got to talk about their game, talk about the characters, talk about the in-game transactions, all this stuff. Like, you can talk about it all. And then you get in the game. I'm like, what the fuck is this cartoon version of World of Warcraft?
I thought about it too.
Yeah, fake
I
ads.
had one of my friends play it or made me play it. I got a code and free shit. So I was like, yeah,
See,
sure.
like Instagram too, right? You see these like no one can make it to the ocean, or even the really simple ones where it's like a GIF and you have to pause it with the person being in the lines.
Yep.
There's just millions of hits because like you do it. Is it? And if you have autoplay on, there you go. It's just autoplay.
It's already creating those hits for them. So
I wish that this actually worked because then like it'd be like, okay, let's explain why this is garbage.
yeah, but unfortunately, I don't think they allow that.
The performance with the most effective ad create. The problem is ads are made for, let's be honest, suckers. Because if you see a thing on TV and suddenly you want it, like when you're a kid and you see the new Transformers toy, you want that Transformers toy, and you want it right now.
Them Nerf guns.
Yeah, when the Nerf guns got big. Nerf guns are ridiculous now. Have you seen these things?
Yeah,
they got an AK-47 banana clip fucking Nerf gun. I'm like, dude, I remember when I got my first like, the kit, the yellow kit, and you had like the small mags. That's it. And then I got the big LMG Vulcan. I think they called it the Vulcan.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I got that, and that was it. That's when I moved from Nerf to paintball immediately.
I miss paintball.
Me too. I didn't get to play last year because I just wasn't strong enough linguistically to communicate effectively.
I mean, have you really been at any point in life?
No, I can, like, if I was playing at Splatters, for example. By the way, shout out to Evan. I miss you.
I will.
I'll never forget you. Like, I'm good with like hand signals, military speech, all that kind of stuff. So like we always had a good time. But I'm just looking for that milsim group to be able to play. That's what I'm looking for right now, and I'm not really finding it in this area. So it might be a little bit of travel, maybe 45-minute drive or something like that.
The last thing I want to touch base on here is that virus detector bullshit. So like,
you mean the fake ones for like the please call Microsoft, and it's the Indian scam houses?
We have a virus, or we have detected those ones. Now you used to see all that type of shit on like Pogo, Club Penguin, all shit like that. You used to see that 24/7.
There's a fake. Speaking of Club Penguin, do you watch Some Ordinary Gamer on YouTube at all? Mia Mudahar, or whatever his name is.
I've seen a few clips.
Okay, so he was talking about recently this unlicensed Club Penguin server that's out there, and it's like run by like a ring of pedophiles.
Ew.
It's terrifying. I'm like, please stop playing that. Don't put yourself in that situation where you are being preyed upon by these guys, because like they actively target you, and they're like, do you want to be a moderator on the server? And they're like, oh yeah. Well, then they're like, send us nudes. Like, don't do that. Please don't do that. I hope for your safety to not, like, you be smart enough not to do it.
I shared something recently that kind of had to deal with that.
Oh, okay.
It was this one chick, and Tinder's huge and people lie about their age, whatever. There's this 13-year-old girl.
Yeah.
And she posts that she's 18 on the Tinder, so she goes through. And this one guy, this is the only guy that's not like, all up in her grill for like nudes and shit.
Okay.
And holy shit, I share way too much. All right.
I know we fucking just trash share everything. It's like boom, share.
And we share similar stuff.
I've noticed since I've moved to Europe, a lot of the Article 13 stuff ends up within an hour being like, sorry, this content's unavailable.
Just nutty. Okay, anyway, I'll just remember from the basics. So this guy, he talks to her, and she says that she's in a group that RPs a lot, and it's not irregular. It's pretty pretty
It's a spicy.
new.
Let's go
It's a
with spicy.
spicy.
Spicy roleplay.
It's like your Taco Tuesday special. But so he asked her like why she thinks that she should be in this, yada yada, and she's just like, well, I'm just finding myself out more in a mature retrospect. And I'm just like,
Mm,
no, you're kind of just giving in to other people's desires while thinking it's mature to do so. And like, and that's something that a lot of younger teens, they struggle with. They think that being an adult has so much to do with sex and so much to do with, getting naked in front of everybody, and that's just
there's so much more to it. Like being an adult is not
like,
an age factor or a development factor. It is 100% a mentality.
yeah. And it's
There is like a moment in life where you go from being a teenager to an adult, and that's when you get excited for opening your brand new vacuum cleaner.
yeah,
It is that moment.
or like having pride in what your fucking room looks like, or your setup looks like,
Yeah.
or how your food looks.
Or
Even.
purchasing your first piece of real estate.
Yes, that too. Having the independency of your own stuff, your own roles and responsibilities, and being able to carry out through those day to day.
Yeah.
With
Like it's okay to have moments of immaturity where you have like a really gnarly sense of humor or whatever.
Oh, absolutely.
Keeping yourself in check is a huge part of being a responsible adult.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I've noticed about Europeans as opposed to North Americans. Like, it's not the same. They're really like, my wife is way more mature of a person at her age than some of the people at the same age in North America.
Some?
Yeah. Well, most.
Okay.
Let's go with
I've
most.
only met your wife maybe twice, and I was quite impressed.
Yeah. Like,
like,
for example, like comparing, B to A here, like she was older than me too, but yet far more immature than she could have been.
mm-hmm.
But anyway.
we're gonna stay away.
Yeah.
How's your drink looking?
I'm getting down. It's still cold, surprisingly.
Sir, if you look at the screen.
Oh, I believe that you are needing a top off.
And I believe you are needing to finish yours.
I know. We've been talking so much. So
that's true. You really got in depth on the intel. So
while we're taking a little breaky poo, this is a French tax form. I'm not going to show it to you because obviously there's some sensitive information on it. But there's something that... So this is what I was telling you last night that I was just going to drop on you.
Yeah.
So, my wife fills it out, right? And at the bottom of the page, you have to sign it. Because we're filing our taxes together because we're married.
Yep.
So we're doing a joint taxes. No problem. Sign it, date it, send her in. So the tax people call us, right? And, like, they were mad. They were really mad, upset that she signed it first and that I signed it second.
Ugh.
I'm like, excuse me?
Fusion burp.
Excuse me? Like, what? She's like, the man signs first. It's the law.
It's the law?
It's the law. I'm like, why? It's 2020. Does it fucking matter what order you sign your tax form in? Do you want money or not? No. It's a huge no-no that the woman signs second on your tax form, which to me indicates that a female in France would be a second-rate citizen. Wouldn't it?
Based on that information, yeah, it would seem so.
So that's fucking bullshit. Wrong. Huge pile of garbage, and that needs to be looked at. So for those of you who live in France and don't see an issue with that, you're part of the problem, first off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, it doesn't matter I just get to sign it, file my damn taxes. So we ended up having to get new tax forms and re-sign them and fill them out. so that I could sign it first. So my running joke all week with my wife has been the man goes first. And she's just like, stop, it's not funny anymore. But it's like, it's like, you know, like, oh, I gotta pee. But it's like, no, the man goes first. I gotta pee. It's like, okay, I'm gonna go make dinner and I'm gonna enter the kitchen. It's like, no, the man goes first. You know, it's like stupid shit like that. Like really funny.
Yeah, it's so. My God.
Or like, yeah, I'll give her, you know, I'll like when I wake up to go to work, and I'll give her a kiss goodbye. And, you know, and I'm like, I'm gonna kiss you first because the man goes first.
Yeah, I could see her just disappointed look.
Yeah, she's just like, it's 5:30 in the morning. Stop.
Like, I'm gonna smack you with a baguette.
Yeah, the baguette. Oh man, we had fresh bread. I was missed having fresh bread, like because the bakeries were closed during quarantine.
Oh yeah.
So when you finally were able to go to the bakery, it was like, when you move to France, like you don't actually understand how important the French food groups are. Tobacco, wine, bread, and cheese. Mm-hmm. Like, it is critical to your survival as a French citizen that you have those things.
See, I kind of figured it would be. I was wondering about that myself, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, I should just have a French diet, to be honest. Because, like, I make omelets almost every day, and I have sandwiches for work that I shit ton pour cheese, and, you know, the only thing I don't have in my diet is wine often. That's replaced with dark rum, so that's my start.
Wine is, like, an acquired taste, I think. Because I don't mind white wine. Like, if I'm having dinner with her parents or whatever, you know, like, they understand that obviously in North America not a lot of us are big wine drinkers, but if they have white wine, you know, I'll have some. But other than that, I'll just have a beer with dinner or whatever. And a lot of them drink red wine like it's water. It's incredible.
So that's like it depends on what I'm eating, because with dinner I always have like, if it's a very meaty, salty, I have a glass of red with dinner. But if it's more on like let's say I'm having dill with pierogies and like a sweetened sauce or whatever, then I'm gonna have a white wine just to mix.
It's the potato, right?
Yeah, it just depends on which one for which type of wine. But if it's like just a social event, then I'm not really too picky. Wine is wine.
Well, red wine for me is really strong, and which is weird because I'm a whiskey guy.
You're also a Guinness beer drinker, my guy.
I know. I'm just weird. So like, I like strong tasting things. Like, currently my new beer obsession is what's called a crick. It's cherry beer. It's fucking delicious. One of them it's called Mort Subite. Really, really good. It's like candy, you know, but it's, again, a very potent taste. It's not just a blonde beer, you know. It's very flavorful, full body.
It's not just an air.
And red wines are like that, but I just don't like the taste of red wine. It's so weird.
No, that's fair. It's completely fair. It's like me. I drink almost any beer. I just can't stand Bud Light or Budweiser. I can deal with their like Bud Light Apple or Orange or whatever.
Actually, Bud Light Apple was good. When I used to go golfing with my coworkers in Canada, I would drink Bud Light Apple on the golf course all fucking day. Because it was like $3, so it's the cheapest beer in the beer girl's cart. And like, I'm not a good golfer anyway, so I'm like 15 over already, and we're on hole 3. You know, like, I'm just doing super bad. But I like to think that the drunker I am, the better the golfer that I am. And I think that's really not the case. Considering my scorecard at the end of a hole in Morden, which, by the way, is a really nice... is it Morden? Yeah, this is Morden, yeah. Anyway, has a really nice golf course. Did you freeze? No, you moved. Okay, there you go. I was like, uh-oh. Okay. Uh-oh. Technical difficulties.
Still. Because I was reading into...
Okay, so I actually wanted to show you something. I saw this hilarious video.
Oh, boy.
It was like me trying to clutch a 3-in-1 kill
Oh,
and my
no.
teammate. Anyway, so from that point, I find the video, and I go down the rabbit hole of Mongolian throat singing. And I'll tell you what, I like music. I was all about this. I've been jamming to this all week. Listen to this. This dude.
Oh shit.
So obviously this one has some After Effects to it and stuff going on, you know. But like, it's freaking badass.
Dig it.
I'm digging it. I've not watched this movie. I don't know what it is. I'm sure it's something about Mongolia, but
That's just a Mongolian raid. Typical day.
I'm just gonna turn it down a little because I think it's loud.
The Mongolians stand here sitting in the corner.
Oh, I hate a Mongolian. No, I don't know why. Like, they were super effective in conquering Asia and parts of Europe.
Well, you gotta remember, their war strategies were abstract and unheard of.
You hear that guy's voice? Like, listen, this is the original video. This is the video that I saw in the Facebook meme. So look at that. Look at that view.
Coming off camera. Whoops.
It's really good. Like, the music is great. I don't know what this instrument is, because I'm not familiar with too many, like, native instruments of different countries, but I'm on board. Can you do that with your voice? I can't do that.
You know what?
Apparently this, like, going down the rabbit hole, this takes years to develop this skill of getting your voice down so low to do this singing. It's wild. It's just wild.
It's going to take some time.
But yeah, it's like when you go down the rabbit hole of Turkish food on Instagram. By the way, every time I go watch Turkish food, I get so hungry. I get so hungry. I don't even care that there's like 2 pounds of cheese on top of it, because I like meat and cheese together. So like, just bring it over, I'll eat it. But this was just funny. And I was like, it actually sounds good. And then I discovered Mongolian rock and roll.
Oh no.
These guys are so fucking cool.
The Mongolian.
It's like The Who, but it's not The Who that you know of from the 60s. It's The Who.
Boy.
But like, they put so much effort into the videos that they make. Let's skip over to the... Like, look at this! Yeah, I had way too much fun on the internet this week.
I had bang to that.
Oh, hell yeah. Like, look at that horse! That looks badass! I don't know what that instrument is, but I like it. I want one. I want one on my wall back here.
Oh yeah, no, it's so good.
So anyway, next topic. So we did Intel. We did so we need one of my topics. Oh yeah. Okay, let's do this. So, nuclear winter is upon us on YouTube. The next wave of the adpocalypse is coming. And we can blame it on these two fucking idiots right here. Keemstar and Ethan Klein from H3H3.
Yep.
So, Ethan's funny, but he's definitely lost his way with being somebody who was coming up and had nothing, right? Now he's got this weird mentality about himself where he thinks he's the be-all, end-all. He's like the end boss of YouTube or something. It's stupid. Like, this is not okay. He's got this huge mansion, and he wonders why people have started to dislike him. Like, Some Ordinary Gamer did a video on him. First off, that whole video was just a bad take anyway, because the whole thing was based off the thumbnail. He thought he was, charity shaming Jeff Bezos. I'm like, oh, fucking God. Mia, you gotta actually, you gotta read things. You gotta look at things. But he doesn't. Anyway, so we get this content nuke.
Are you also...
And Ethan Klein likes to do these little, backdrops when he's doing things. It kind of reminds me of, like, iDubbbz's Content Cop situation where he's talking about random shit. So he's on safari, right? He's hunting for Keemstar. That's the joke. But, like, I don't even know how much of this I want to get into.
Later, describing how this
It's
a long video, and, like, I honestly don't want us to get totally flagged down. But yeah, so he did all this shit. He's calling out Keemstar, and Keemstar is a shitty human being in general. I found this old tweet while I was looking up all this shit of him making fun of an autistic kid. A child with autism. Keemstar. But you can see, like, it's old, obviously.
Yeah, it's when it was a acceptable,
No,
quote unquote.
I don't even think that in 2013 it was acceptable. Honestly.
Well,
I don't think
fucking
so.
not in my views, that's for sure. But like in societal views, if we really look at what slander could
I guess what things were being joked about, it's closer to say that I suppose that it was a more accepted topic to make jokes about than now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Regardless, but look at his reply. I just did, and now you're mad. Like, dude, it's a child. Anyway, so if the problem is the last several weeks, and for like a long time general. Okay. Oh, did he delete the tweet already? He did it. So I should have saved it. Dumbass. No, he did it here. I had to delete that last tweet before that Fupa bitch tries to Me Too me saying I sexually harassed him. Just like, so FUPA, right? The FUPA fund, Freedom Against the Freedom Protection Act or whatever. And obviously, like, Ethan Klein refers to his gut as his FUPA pack. Whatever. It's funny. I think it's funny.
Yeah.
But, you can't just throw jokes like that around and not expect the whole internet to come down on you. But you gotta admit, though, the way he just lashes out, he's a fucking marketing genius because everybody comes down on him.
Oh, yeah.
He's getting so much attention, and Ethan is getting so much attention, and yet they're losing subscribers. They're losing supporters. They're losing sponsors because the two of them are going after each other's sponsors, and Ethan started it. Ethan's like, oh, hey, G Fuel, you should probably stop sponsoring, Keemstar. So they did. And then Old Spice stopped sponsoring Ethan. And it just keeps going.
It does.
And Pokimane, do you know who Pokimane is?
Unfortunately.
The queen of the simps on Twitch? Anyway, she did the same thing to It's a Gundam. She was like, you can't sponsor people who have, like, bad opinions. I'm like, lady, no. You don't get to go after someone's livelihood like that.
When you and yourself.
When you're literally just handed money left and right for nothing. Absolutely nothing.
2020, ban titty streamers.
That's been like since 2016, ban titty streamers. The problem is now, they're never going to go away. Because it's okay now. They got body painting is okay now.
Yeah.
Because, there was a lot of controversy with certain body painters getting banned for 24 hours, even though they had just updated terms of service to allow them to body paint.
So, funny story. One of my friends, I have a lot of friends on my Facebook that have an OnlyFans, whatever, and they talk to me about it. whatever. I don't
make
I
that
don't mind
money is all I'm saying. Just make that money, but don't expect
Yeah.
me to, you know,
subscribe
pay
to
you.
it. I'll support you emotionally, but
I'm there mentally. I'm like I'm on your field.
I'm with you.
My
I get
bank
it.
account is
Got a
not
body,
you.
use it. Bank off limits. That's for like my future and shit. And if I decide to have children, spawn in somebody. Uh, but no. So one of them sends me a link and it's like, you stream, right? Or you're an avid gamer. I said, yeah. So I click on this link and it is a nudie streaming gaming website where people go specifically make accounts to stream with their tits out, with their dick out, with whatever.
Oh, God.
And I sat there, I was just like, and what did you expect for me from this?
Yeah, what was the purpose of you sending me this link? Like,
She's just like, can you follow me? I was
can
like,
you follow me? Oh, okay.
I was like, well, does it cost money? She said no. I said I could probably make a bullshit account I'm never going to use again and give you a follower. But that's
goodness.
about it.
My goodness, that's you know, I'm just not like I think that if you're going to stream on Twitch or Mixer or YouTube gaming or Facebook gaming, put your fucking clothes on.
Right?
We're not stupid. We know why you're wearing that ultra low cut V-neck. I'm not an idiot.
Speaking of which,
I see it. I see it happening. And then people are like, "Well, Twitch isn't actually for kids, so it's okay." What?
No, that's not the basis of it, though.
It's
just because you should do something, or just because you can do something, doesn't mean you should.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah,
It's a life lesson.
Oh my god. But it's a life lesson that people don't follow anymore because they're like, well, I can do anything I want to do, so.
And there's no drawbacks because it's 2020.
It's 2020, inclusivity, except white people, fuck you. That's not inclusivity.
I have a huge rant that would probably take 2 hours of backstories and shit.
Oh my god, it would just take us days to cover it. Anyway, you're either all in on it or not at all. It's the same thing with like people saying certain words aren't okay. They're either all okay or none of them are okay. You don't get to pick and choose.
The synonymical word for bundle of sticks. That one's a huge topic, but we ain't going.
No, we're not going for that one. That actually wasn't directly what I was talking about anyway. I was talking about much tamer things, but you dropped that bomb, didn't you?
I mean, go hard or go home, but that one's been on my mind lately.
I was mainly just talking about because like Twitch lately has been censoring people using like simp card emojis.
Oh yeah.
Like, I understand that Twitch is a platform as to which is like privately owned. So yes, they get to make enforcement choices, and yes, you don't have to agree with them. But there are levels, and we're going to get into it. But there is certain situations in which you actually need to wake up and pay attention to what you're doing as a business. Because it's all a horrible look. It's really bad. But we're not going to talk about it yet. But I need a beer top off. So we're going to take a quick little break. I'm going to go get a fresh beer. Maybe a little snacky poo. And we'll be right back. Itchy. So anyway, so advertisers and sponsors are going to be very cautious nowadays on who they sponsor. Like, they're not going to be so willing to sponsor YouTubers now. Because, like, are they going to be all immature like these two? First off, these are two multi-millionaires fighting each other like children on the internet. Ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just absolutely not.
Now, Grade A Under A says he wasn't going to do YouTube drama anymore. And he literally posted a video a day ago. Crappiest YouTube drama in history. I like Grade A Under A. I remember when I discovered him, I was laughing so damn hard. And then he just disappeared into the abyss. And then he came back. And now he's doing drama again. Which means he's going to disappear again. But how much of this have you been following in the last little while?
Well, I wouldn't say too heavily.
Okay. Just like enough to be like, oof. That's a big oof
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah, it really is.
But apparently Susan, CEO of YouTube, contacted these two idiots.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, please stop. That's enough. It's like, you know that commercial? Stop. Get some help.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. It's But my whole thought process on the way these two are acting, on how they're targeting each other, this is all I gotta say about it.
Ooh, nobody gives a shit.
That's it. That's all I gotta say. End of that discussion. So, another thing Riker was talking about was Diablo 4 expected sooner than we think. Maybe.
We excited. But at the same time,
So-
I don't want to have them rush it and have like a
so it's
critical
really
failure.
it's really important that we don't have Error 36 again on day 1 of Diablo 4. Because I remember coming home from my local EB Games, because Canada, and I had Diablo 3. I install it, open it up. Oh, you can't sign in. Sorry, Error 36, can't sign in. I'm sorry, Error 36, can't sign in. That's error number 1. Can't sign into the game. And their excuse was like, "Oh, we don't have enough. We weren't expecting so many people." You had a game in development for 10 years. You think people weren't excited for the 3rd version of it?
It's like people saying, like, for Kingdom Hearts, you've had 12 fucking years.
Yeah,
You
like
think-
Kingdom Hearts 3, right? Took so long to come out.
Like, I don't know how hard I had to control the boner when it came out. I literally bought it straight out. I was just like, BAM! I need it now.
I'm not gonna lie, I still haven't bought it.
I know, because you're cheap.
Well, it's not my favorite franchise. I like to play it. It is a good time, but I'm definitely gonna wait for the price to hit like $20 bin, and then I'm gonna pick it up for PS4.
You're waiting for like 3 years.
No, dude, it's already down to like $32, so another year and it'll be down to 20.
Last time okay, that's just the base version. Yeah. 32.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna bother with like all the fancy DLC collector's edition.
And like the free keys and stuff that you get, or not free, but like the paid for keys. The cool shit that you can get with the bundle.
Yeah.
What? Anyway, Diablo.
I wasn't originally going to talk about Diablo because it was like, it's still too soon, but I want to talk about Diablo because it's if I had to pick my favorite fucking game of all time and the one that I've put the most hours into,
Diablo.
that isn't World of Warcraft, it's Diablo 3.
Or Minecraft.
I think Minecraft is starting to get to that level where it's been a similar amount of hours. Because I got like 4 max level characters now. Yeah. And like I remember playing during the auction house in Diablo 3, and then them taking it away when Reaper of Souls was released. And then they started then they increased the Paragon level from max 100 to like infinite. I've seen people with just incredibly high Paragon, and I feel like a pleb because I have like Paragon 97. But like I play when I have the urge to play Diablo. Because I have a love-hate relationship with Diablo 3.
Yes. As I have noticed over the years.
Well, because like I'll play it really hard.
Which you'll come and get me and be like, "Hey, we need to play," and then it'll be like one time I'll mention it, and you'll be like, "Eh."
Like I like Diablo 3 so much. I have these fancy collector's books. So we have the Book of Tyrael, the Book of Cain, and then the collector's edition strategy guide for vanilla because they never released one for Reaper of Souls.
I would have thought that would have been.
I mean, not that I know of, actually. I should really Google it and see if I can still get my hands on one. But I have those books. And, like, the fucking, like, okay, I'll show you. Because I don't, like, the book in-game.
Yeah.
Like, check it out. Check out this fucking paper. This weathered paper. It's got a live edge on it. Like, it's not smooth. But look at the artwork. They did such a good job with this. And it's got like the letters that you get read to you in the game. It's like Dear Leah.
Yeah, no, like if there's one thing I've always said about Diablo is they have done so good with their lore and their cinematics.
So I was talking to somebody on Reddit.
Oh boy.
Because, you know, I like to hate myself. So I put myself on Reddit, right? And I was chatting with somebody on Reddit, and they were saying that they're going to make Diablo 4 a paid subscription. I'm like, fuck no. They would not do that.
You know how much fucking backlash they're gonna get for that?
First off, it has not once been discussed in all the rumors that have come along. So it's not gonna happen. This guy, he was just like, well, I mean, it's bound to happen inevitably. It was like, it's not World of Warcraft. You don't play Diablo the same way you play WoW. There's not raiding. There's Nephilim rifts and greater rifts and stuff like that.
Different.
But it's definitely not WoW. Like, first off, you can only have 4 people in a lobby. That's a huge difference.
Like, maybe if they allowed 30 some odd people, maybe.
I think a computer would explode with that much particle effect happening with 30 people in Diablo 3. Can you imagine if you had 10 wizards, 10 necros, and 10 monks or something happening in there, or a barbarian? Like, be a lot of particle effects.
Be a lot of explosions.
And if you were playing on Torment 10, for example, or higher, there's so many trash mobs around you.
Yeah,
your computer would have a stroke and die. You'd be like, no, it's game over. But this guy, he says Diablo 4 may be mostly finished, and we should expect something big in connection with the title. I honestly think that at BlizzCon, if they do a BlizzCon this year, because COVID, if they do BlizzCon, they are bound to make some form of announcement about Diablo 4, because you can't just drop that amazing trailer on us and say nothing.
Absolutely was great though.
I would kill to get a beta key to Diablo 4.
Oh my god. If I got that, I'd probably
I would play it like a crackhead.
Listen. A puddle beneath me and then a 2-liter filled of piss.
Yeah, because you're not moving a muscle from that chair.
Yeah.
It's Diablo 4 time. So what I really excited for, I think because last time I was not able to get the collector's edition for Diablo 3. Mm-hmm. So I have the vanilla box and stuff. So this time around, I want to get the collector's edition of Diablo 4. I don't want to miss out this time. It was 2012 last time, so I was just not old enough to have that kind of money.
Yeah.
You know? And considering that, and I don't have a credit card for pre-order because I'm 11, it doesn't work. So this time, I'm not going to mess up and miss out. I'm getting a fucking collector's edition this time.
Yeah.
Basically, the day they announce that they're available, boom, locked in, purchased.
Sweepstakes, baby.
And then I want to do a day one stream. I definitely want it. I want to see Era 36 happen on stream for everybody.
Exactly.
But yeah, so there's a couple different articles kind of discussing the same basic premise. They think it might be coming sooner than later. They're doing PTR right now for season 21. So
I'm excited for us to do our season grind.
I mean, I'm
21.
probably going to be doing some season grind tonight. So if you want to just join me, I'm not going to be necessarily streaming it, but I'm definitely going to be.
Season 21 comes out June 15th. You said, right?
I'm not sure.
Or was it 20?
Well, the 20. It's either June 15th or 21st that it season 20 ends, and there's going to be a content gap.
Yeah.
And then we'll get 21. But I really want to finish. I've almost done chapter 2.
Nice.
But I'm having some struggles getting gear right now. That is my biggest setback, is damage output. But I keep increasing the difficulty because I want to get better and better shit.
Yeah, and it's just it then takes longer because
plus in Torment 1,
Torment
1 you have 300% EXP and gold drop, so
Mhm.
you level so fast. It's crazy.
It's just gone.
So what are you looking forward to in Diablo 4? What class do you
Diablo.
want to play? Because it's not the
Oh.
same classes.
No, I actually wanted to keep classes, minus the base ones that I know are going to be there, a surprise. I wanted to see what they could come up with, because you know the shift from Diablo 1 to Diablo 3. The classes, like the Amazon in Diablo 2, fucking beautiful class.
You know I thought they were bringing the Amazon back. I thought that.
I fucking hope so. It was a beautifully done class.
Oh, that is
And
not
then
how
obviously-
you spell. That is not how you spell. I am so sorry, everybody. Okay, yeah. So we got Witch,
Yeah.
the barbarian, the druid. Okay, I'm really excited to play a druid
I'm excited.
because like I played a little bit of a druid in WoW, but I want to like the fact that you can transform into a grizzly bear, like dude.
Like D&D wise, I have a druid, a rogue druid,
Okay.
and as my basically he's a partner in crime, and I'm excited to explore a lot of that to see what they did to make it fit in the scenarios that Diablo 4, you're the savior of the world, right? Yeah, that's usually how it goes in Diablo. You're the savior of the world.
Wow.
And
You're the Nephilim.
yeah, you're basically God, except for you're still a piece of shit.
So we have Lilith. Lilith is big daddy boss, right?
Oh yeah, that's
I'm
gonna be
so fucking excited
my
to
heart's
see
racing.
Lilith in action.
My heart's fucking racing.
My
for that.
question is though, so we defeated Diablo again, right? In 3. Are we gonna see Diablo in 4? Like, is he gonna come back? Is he gonna have like a cameo appearance? Is he gonna be an actual boss fight?
I don't know. I'm interested to see if they'll do anything else with Belial.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see, because Belial, he puts an offset to Diablo. He puts a nice little breather from
Well,
like
because
the
he's part of
overpower-
the primevals, right?
Yeah, he puts a nice offset between the overpoweredness of Diablo himself to this man who just fucks with your day constantly, and you hear him, right?
I really like this campfire idea. Like, so instead of just seeing your character on the home screen, you'll be like around a campfire.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I've been looking at a lot of the art, like the artwork for Diablo 4, and it just looks fucking amazing. I want to get that art book, the one that they were selling, because like the clan guys with like the black hooded cloaks, just crazy looking. Now I know that since 2 we've had a necromancer now. Diablo 3 did not launch with a necromancer, but they gave it to us eventually.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not done with the necromancer, and I want him to be in 4.
I think they might switch it up.
Well, like we already, so the barbaric, right, is the barbarian.
Mm-hmm.
So this is your melee. The witch is the wizard. But like I know that they're leaning harder toward like the more medieval art, like 2, which is fantastic. Because I totally agree with people who say Diablo 3 is cartoony as hell. But I think that's the charm. That's part of the charm. You know,
like Diablo 3, compared to 2 was super intense. Like storyline, super intense. Like especially through the expansion pack afterwards.
Well, I was actually kind of mad with Diablo 3 because we got Reaper of Souls, and I half expected there to be another expansion like 2 years later. And here we are, and it never happened. What we got was Rise of the Necromancer, and it was just a class. It wasn't a story. There was nothing added to it.
That's what I'm slightly irked about as well, is like, if you're gonna release a class that we've been begging for, you need to add something to it.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. You added like adventures and whatever shit. You added newer, what was it, item sets and shit too
Well,
that came out.
every patch there's new items and set pieces and stuff like that.
But
And
it's just like you do that regularly. You need to add something else.
I was hoping for an Act 6. What I wanted was an even number. I'm not a fan of odd numbers. No offense. I'm just not a fan of leaving things on an odd number. Like, my volume in my car is always even. So,
I remember that when
it's got to be 16, not 15. 16.
when we were driving once. Can't remember who we were picking up, but he changed the volume to like 13, and you were just like, no,
What are you doing?
no touch.
14 or get out. But yeah, I
Yeah,
wanted
like-
there to be an Act 6, and it had to have something to do with the Necromancer, because when we got Act 5, we had the Crusader as well.
Yes.
Now-
Crusader, I found actually quite fun.
I thought the
Not gonna lie.
Crusader was really fun. I really liked that it was almost a full mount class. Like, because you had that horse ability where you could, like, charge in.
And just gives it a whole new aspect to the
The
class.
issue is when you're playing with other people and they're playing a Crusader class, they will just run ahead and aggro everything. And you're like, what are you doing? We can't move that fast. We don't have a horse. we can't keep up with you. Stop.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
I remember once I was playing with a guy who was playing a Crusader and he wasn't tanking anything. Like, he was doing weird things that you don't do when you play a Crusader, and I was like, dude, this is not how this works. The light turns on and off on that mic?
Yeah, if I mute the mic.
Oh, okay.
If I got a fart or something.
Classic cover. Mute the mic.
Like belching, no problem. But if you're gonna drop a bomb, you best mute the mic.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, so I'd like to see, at least 6 classes on launch, because, like,
At least, yeah.
'cause-
And like, oh man, I can only wonder what the storyline is gonna be like. Like, I'm just so intensely wondering about the storyline itself, because I have memory of 1 and 2, and then 3 is still pretty fresh in my mind.
yeah.
So I'm sitting there, I'm like going through all of them, like, holy shit, what are they gonna think of?
So I never ever saw Diablo 1. I've later in life I've Googled gameplay of it and what it looks like and stuff. But I have no personal experience with 1. I have a little experience with 2 because I was playing it closer to end of life. But
Yeah.
Diablo 3, I was like, boom. I hit that day 1. But I'm still surprised at how many people are still playing 2.
I know, right? And I mean, like, it's such a good game, so I don't blame them. I
don't
really
blame them
don't.
at all. But it's like the fact that you can still sign in and there's still like a server.
Yeah. No, it's still up and going.
I just think
I
that it
love it.
looks really funny because you have like the plasticine blood
Yeah.
effects.
Yeah. The graphics need work, but
Well, it's an old game. I don't expect them to do any physical graphical updates to that in a little while.
Yeah.
So we pretty much covered that. Yeah. So anyway, Ethan and Keemstar are children, and I support companies that are backing out from sponsoring them because I wouldn't want to be affiliated with that too if I had a company.
yeah, no kidding.
Like, I'm sorry, you represent me? Hell no. And speaking of representation,
Oh boy,
let's get into the big one.
no.
You not ready? Are you not ready for the big one? That was a good segue.
Fuck it, let's do it.
All right, the Twitch Safety Advisory Council has been a fucking dog and pony show. That's all I gotta say. Like, there's not another way to say it. Okay.
I'm gonna need to shoot myself for
So-
this one.
When you are going to represent a company and their ideas of inclusivity and representation across a broad spectrum of different people and lifestyles and cultures, you cannot hold these kind of ideas because you're already defeating the purpose.
You are counterproductive to the actual the result trying to be like sought out here.
And I want to state for the record that I'm not hating on this person because of the way they identify. I mean, the deer thing is kind of funny, but that's not... I want everyone to understand that this is not the kind of mentality you want held on your safety and advisory council. Because clearly she's not mature enough to handle the power she's been given.
I'm just not cool with white supremacy,
It's just
y'all.
like...
It's really not that...
When you go and sit there and you look down at what she goes and talks about when it has into regards to the council itself.
Like, how many of the clips have you seen?
I've seen about 7.
Okay.
And
so you've seen this one then, right? Like the Just a Fact?
Yeah.
Yeah, so in your personal opinion, you're a gamer. Are you a white supremacist?
No.
Right. Exactly. But did you know that because you're a gamer, and it's a fact, you're a white supremacist?
I barely could look at that without raising my eyebrow, which I mean I do often.
Not cool with white
but there's
supremacy,
certain
y'all.
raises of eyebrows that I
really not
have.
that. I
If
think a
anybody
lot
who
of
actually
gamers
knows me knows
are
me.
actually white supremacists.
This one was a
Sorry.
big
It's
somebody needs
a huge oof on Twitch's part. Like when they were looking through all of their potential candidates. If you're a company that has a huge sample group of people on your platform, and you can pick through any thousands of millions of people on it, you obviously want to pick the best candidates for the job. And they have some, like... they have guys with, like, PhDs. People who understand psychology. Like...
Yeah.
They
have some
they have some qualified people on the council. And this dude here, is the most wholesome streamer I've ever watched.
Yeah.
I don't even think he's ever, like, sworn, you know? Like, it's just... You know, and, you know, Cup of Noodles, like, they put notable achievements in what they do. And I'm not gonna lie, Ferociously Steph being one of the first trans people to be partnered on Twitch, that's a huge step. Huge step. And that can't be underrated. You know? But you are not qualified to be on a safety council or anybody's council making decisions. I'm sorry. You're not. Mm-hmm. You have to broaden your mentality.
You have to kind of like hold back from and think to yourself before you put this live, these outputs, what is the backlash not only on you, but on the council itself and what it represents and stands for? Like, I know for a fact, I run a community in Exile Gaming, right?
Yeah.
Anything I say or do, in-game, out-of-game, whatever, is going to be represented on me if someone takes a quick search.
Exactly.
So
that's the
it
thing.
needs to be
it
something.
Can be clipped. It will live on the internet forever.
Yeah, there is no before back in the day. Sure, you know you could get rid of tons of shit and it just be gone.
But now we have the Wayback Machine.
Yeah. Now nothing is fully gone. Like for example, another hilarious thing. In high school we had this talent show, and me and 4 guys, our close friends here, we started a boy band tribute.
Do you still have the video?
The video is still on YouTube. Okay, and no, you're not linking it.
Totally gonna find it. I don't remember which one of the channels uploaded it though.
It was Normandy Destiny.
Oh, that's right. So.
But
come on, we gotta show them. We gotta show them.
No, thank you. I don't need to relive this.
We need to relive it right now. What is the?
I will. The name of the band was One Left Turn because it was
Yes.
for One Direction. We made it, and instead of the names, I don't even know the real names from Not for most of it. I know that there's Harry. Is it Neil? Yeah, Neil. That's the only Zane, and then I don't know the other two's real names, but the names we had were Niall, Loom, Harriet, Zeal, and I can't remember the last one, but we had that all going, and it was nuts.
think it's gone.
Is it gone? Did she stop? Did she take it down?
Because what was it titled? Just One Left Turn, right?
It was 1LT. What Makes You Beautiful, and it should be on Destiny's channel. That's the only place that it was.
One Left Turn. Yeah. She may have closed the channel at some point over the last several years. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate because that would have been the most amazing thing to relive. Was that talent show?
I can probably find it on.
If you manage to find it, you should archive it in your personal files because you're gonna want that. You're gonna want to show your own kids that and be like, "This is why boy bands are not good for your health."
This is why you don't do stuff in high school.
Okay. Anyways, so this is one of the clips that I have the biggest issue with, and what should have been her immediate termination clip is this one.
So,
Yeah.
but I'm hanging in there, and I'm not going anywhere. I have power. They can't take it away from me.
First off, it's a privately owned company. Yes, they can take it away from you. Like you. The problem is she doesn't actually understand that she actually has no input on any moderation. She just can help the company make a better policy on how to be more inclusive and open on things. That's the whole fucking purpose of this council. And then this one, she's just like, "Oh, I'm gonna report you and delete your accounts and blah 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 blah. I have so much power. I'm insane. You're an insane person. You shouldn't be given any responsibility."
Oh yeah, the I have power clip. Yeah, that's.
And
nice.
honestly, these there are some people that should be afraid of me, and that
Nobody's afraid of you. We're just a little sick, honestly. Because, like, Twitch has made some pretty bad takes over the years. Mm-hmm. And they've also corrected some things. Not all, but some. But this needs to be corrected. If you want her input from her perspective on her community, fine. But you can't give her that level of power because she clearly can't handle that much. There's also another clip, and I actually can't find it. I think it's been taken down. She was saying that all cops are bastards. During the riots happening right now in the States. So she is on the side of that all cops are shit, blah blah blah, they're all garbage. And she supports the looting. She says that they why? Again, that's another bad take. I'm sorry, but you can't be on a council with these thoughts.
Like even a town council, if we take it back to the days of our small ass town, being on that council, as much as we hated some of the policies, procedures, some of the law enforcement, yada yada, we can't just sit there and say everybody sucks shit.
No.
We have to take it from a perspective of the entirety of it, entire town, all of the law enforcement, all of which pertain to this. You cannot just say openly that, yeah, all of this is garbage.
Yeah, this whole group of people, trash. Absolute garbage. You can't. If you're in that group, I'm sorry, but you're garbage.
Yeah, no, you have to look at specific cases for specific issues. And then you narrow down to, okay, as a group, how can we prevent it from spreading like that again? But
I don't necessarily agree with that because again, you're netting the group, right? It's not a group. Like,
No.
people don't necessarily give a shit about what other people are doing. There are some who are like, yeah, it's mob mentality. Let's do it. But
I just meant it specifically to a city council.
yeah.
But in which cases of like the lootings and Twitch, that is specific person.
But like
needs
she
work.
has within like 2 weeks of each other managed to like insult 4 demographics of people. And she gave this like, and the best part, she was like, no, I never said that. I'm sorry, but these clips exist, and you did. You said it. You said most gamers are white supremacists. You know? And she wants to...
Yeah,
I don't understand banning voice chat. I'm sorry. And, like, her partner here, like a Twitch ambassador, told the dyslexic guy to get out of her mentions. Because he was like, well, what about people with dyslexia? Like, I prefer voice chat because it's hard for me to read. And she's like, get out of my mentions. Get your dyslexic ass out of my mentions, is what she said.
Oh, that's a no-no.
You're a Twitch ambassador.
You can't just say random shit for funny content for like people who have a darker sense of humor. That's when you go and you actually have to invitalize better I want to say better humor topics than the rabble of which that we do. Like, we can say whatever the fuck we want. We're not advocating for anybody. We're not anybody's main counsel. We're our own counsel.
Yeah, so if you can make your own... You are educated enough to make your own decisions and decide what you don't like and like about certain things. Like, as an openly bi male, I am often thrown into the cis white male pile. Because I'm married to a female. I'm sorry, but that's not how that works.
It's really not.
My wife and I, when we watch movies, we can both, you know, fawn over the same person. You know, we'd be like, damn, look at Channing Tatum's hard-ass abs. All about it, you know?
I mean, to be fair, I may be a straight white male, but I appreciate male aesthetics and male body.
I mean, if you got a nice ass, I'm going to tell you. You got a nice ass. Keep up the good work.
That reminds me of literally I get on camera and you're just like, is that an ass that just went by? I was like, bruh, that's mine.
That's right. I was like, whose butt is that?
It's like, man, that's mine. He was like, damn.
Somebody been doing squats, you know what I mean? So I'm going to show you this little video here quick regarding the deer person. Now, okay, it's funny. I got a good haha out of it, but maybe it was also a touch overboard. Okay. Because, like, as a person who doesn't totally have a good grasp on the trans community and the sub branches of that, and is still learning and developing as a person to understand it, you know, I'm still gonna laugh. It's still funny. But anyway, so somebody did a parody version of what she was doing, because she has these clips, like have you seen the clip of her getting scritches by her partner, like we're getting scratches behind the ears and stuff like that? Okay, so this girl does this parody video. Now a lot of people have been be like, yeah, she's making fun of her, let's all dogpile.
Hi, I'm a deer. Ooh, ooh, Twitch hired me. Rawr. That's the speak for a lot of you gamers are white supremacists. We need less
Not a good look,
men in the world. Sorry, that's just a fact of my feelings. Ooh, 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 it's time for lunchtime.
Grass. You know, again, it's just so beyond the top of the whole thing. Oh, you missed the button. And yet, so again, like, yes, she's a Ferociously Steph is a very hateful person. I think it's fair to say. And she has some things she needs to develop on as a person.
Yeah.
And I like to give people the opportunity to develop as people. Because it doesn't really matter if you're 16 or 42. Every day you can learn something new. Like I totally disagree with the can't teach an old dog new tricks thing. Because my wife's grandma, she's like 92. And she is way more open-minded than many people's grandparents right now, which are younger than her. This is a woman who had Nazis in her house. A person who cleaned the boots of soldiers so she wouldn't get shot in the face. You know? And yet, inclusive. She loves everybody.
It's definitely something where like I've adapted out of using that as one of my things for, because I've trained a lot of people. Most of my jobs I've been a manager, so I've always been on the training crew and the recruitment, yada yada.
Yeah.
So it's like always start them off on the right spot, yes, but it doesn't mean that if policies change down the line, you're just completely screwed, because you can learn to adapt to anything. If it's all about consistent effort. Like if you have your consistency to look at something, like let's say a lockup policy changes, right? End of day, you would first turn the lights, grill, stoves off, whatever, and lock down. You immediately put the cameras on, then lock the door and go out. Well, it turns out that now procedures change to where your lights are all on, you put the cameras on first, yada yada, and you lock the door. You take a circle around the restaurant now. Now let's say somebody who's been there for 15 years, which by the way, terribly long time to be at a restaurant for, unless
especially if we're talking about McDonald's, because like let's be honest here. Would you want to be smelling like French fry oil for 15 straight years?
Well, I mean, it depends. I don't know, man. Some people like that smell. Some people get freaky with it. So.
I mean, my perfect idea of a fast food meal is either an AMW Grandpa Burger or a heart attack Whopper, which is like 5 patties and cheese from Burger King, with a large McDonald's fry.
Yeah, I like to mix and match too.
Yeah, I'm that person who goes to 2 fast food restaurants when he wants a snack, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'll go get A&W onion rings, and then I'll get a Whopper, like the garlic, roasted garlic. Oh, that one was so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So someone who 15 years sits there and just, well, I'm doing it my way. I've been doing it this way for 10 plus years. Blah blah blah. Or somebody who's been there for like 3 years. And they can sit there and be like, okay, I just have to adjust to this, this, and this. And they'll put in that effort per day.
Mm-hmm.
The more valuable employee at the end of the day is the one who can adapt rather than the one that's just stuck in their way.
Now, I find it's very opposite in the construction industry, because you have a lot of guys who have so many years of experience of doing something one way. For example, my current foreman, he's a fun guy, he's funny, but he's up there in age. I'll put it to you.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't let me do things my way that I know how to do them. He only wants it done his way. I'm like, just give me a minute, okay? I will show you, and we both get to the same end result, same finished product. I got there a little faster than he did, but he didn't like it because it wasn't his way, you know?
Yeah.
I'm trying to get him out of that idea of my way or the highway. Because obviously the company as a whole has been hiring younger hires because they're looking for different inputs. There are guys who are in their mid-20s who are foreman crew leaders, you know, or mid-30s at this company. And there's also guys who are in their 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
But anyway, Twitch missed the mark on this one. I think that there are probably other more stable candidates for LGBTQ plus inclusivity that could have been on that council. Why did it have to be her?
At least up until the point where she can show that she has restraint.
Well, obviously she doesn't, because Twitch came down on her. They were like, "Hey, you can't say shit like that," and she was like, "Oh, okay, I'm sorry."
Yeah, it's like that newly promoted manager that
All the power goes straight to their head.
With
Yeah, just
voices. I've heard it all. You're just
and
repeating
boom.
my
Pops
several like a
open.
year ago.
Another thing that I don't understand is when she says linguistic profile. I know straight guys who sound flamboyant. It just it happens. I know.
Some days, I don't know.
But I also know gay guys who have the deepest fucking voice you've ever heard.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, come on. You can't... Like, people... I've never once been on an Xbox Live, for example. Let's go back. Let's take a step back. Let's go to Xbox Live, Modern Warfare 2, Rust Lobby. Okay? The shit people said on Xbox Live in that time... People today would not have survived, like, 2006 to, like, 2013. Like...
No, they would have called for the death penalty on 50 million different people.
Yeah, the death penalty, take down Xbox Live, destroy the whole thing. Like, gaming industry is done. But like, nobody was thinking that's the way people think today. It was not a high proponent of PC culture happening during that time frame. And I will admit, I'm fucking guilty of being included in the, telling people what I did to their moms on Xbox Live.
Oh, yeah.
Because we all did it.
We all hopped on that bandwagon because that's what was popular and cool then. And we were kids.
That's the thing. That's the important thing people need to know. We were children. We have no idea who we are. We're not secure in ourselves.
We don't even know whether or not it was right or wrong. We thought it was right.
No, we knew it was wrong to swear because our parents were like, "Stop swearing on Xbox Live."
But we thought it was right and acceptable in that sense, in that setting alone, that was the right approach, the only approach.
But can you imagine if Ferociously Steph was moderating voice chats of Xbox Live lobbies? Like, she would go home crying every day because these people are horrible. We're horrible people.
Yeah. And nobody wants that, and even to somebody that we don't agree with.
I'm not gonna lie, it was definitely a toxic environment to be a gamer in. Not to mention, like, do you remember the first time a girl came into your Xbox Live lobby?
Oh, I'd rather not talk about those.
Mm-hmm. That's right. We were not good people. Like, oh my lord. It was really bad. But again, like, this was a different time. And everybody was a freaking tryhard 360 no-scope. I'm going to use my silenced NP7 and come after you and spawn kill the shit out of you. Because it's Xbox Live. That's what we do.
Mm-hmm. Halo 3 lobbies weren't like too far off that either. Oh man.
Halo 3 was so much tamer than COD was.
This is true, but
and I played both, so
when it came push to shove into the what was that game mode? Infection. That's where everybody got ballistic.
Infection was bad.
Oh. Whew.
But yeah, I remember it was like 1,500 times a day. You get that private message from that guy you've been spawn killing for the last 40 minutes. And he's like, "Oh, you're such a this and that, and I hope you this
we
and
can't
that."
say these things.
I don't want to, because it's like,
we can't say these things.
Oh, Lord. But you know exactly what I'm referring to when you hear
we would get flagged so hard.
This is already intended for a mature audience, but there's a level. There's a level, right?
Also, certain words on Twitch not allowed.
Yep, this is true.
Looking into these.
Gonna get banned.
I just started. I can't stop now.
Yeah, but so in conclusion on this disaster show,
Long ass.
she
topic.
should be let go and replaced with somebody more qualified and more mature to handle the position. And I'm not saying that I am qualified to say who's qualified. I'm not, because I have my moments where I'm just immature as hell, and I can't. Like, I'm not saying I'm better than her.
Moments.
Is what I'm saying.
But yeah, no, it should be under review and under a new screening process.
Yeah, definitely.
There should be like more search of content and more search of like actual if they have any pre-existing channel, whatever, they should review those.
Well, that's the thing. So some of the people on the council are not actually streamers, but they have PhDs and doctorates, and like they have understanding of how demographics work and people's ideas of shifting ideas, you know, stuff like that. But she is just
like,
not.
If there is, then it should go under review, because
Mhm.
you are most yourself when you feel comfortable in streaming.
Yeah.
Like, I find myself slip back into like a way more relaxed and not really censored
Okay.
versus
So
me. Like, I would just
you turn the filter off.
yeah, because when I'm just shooting the shit and streaming, like on YouTube or whatever, then it's like gloves are off, you know? Like, I don't need to sit here and get my hands dirty or anything. I could just flow with it. Smooth sailing. And like then that's where you don't have to filter people out who you know are going to ruin it based on censorship, on like,
I think so. For me, I'm not at a position yet where I'm gonna have an actual moderator yet.
not yet,
Because
anyway.
I have maybe 2-3 people chatting at once, and maybe we'll get to the point where we actually need a moderator, and then I'm gonna probably be holding interviews, you know, just into Discord, just to be like, hey, you know, are you ready? Do you think you can actually handle? Have you ever managed something before, like a subreddit or whatever?
Yeah.
Do you understand how people operate?
Do you understand what's okay to say, what's not okay to say?
on a side note of what's not okay to say, if you've ever seen a female streamer, look at the shit that people say in chat. She could be in a big turtleneck sweater, you know, she's totally covered up. You don't see nothing. You don't even see a slight curve. People are like, show us your tits.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Why do you think that's okay to say?
Like, bruh, you're the reason why.
She's on
we look bad.
Twitch in the public eye, and you're sitting over there like, send me feet pics.
Like, do you really think that you're helping this person?
No, you're because you could tell when somebody reads something that's like deeply uncomfortable to read, because it changes like the next couple of minutes of their conversation. Like, somebody could be having a really good chat back and forth. Like, for example, I had this happen the other day. I was chatting back with TB in Twitch chat, and like TB is a really cool guy. He doesn't even give a shit what game it is that I'm playing. He just likes to hang out, talk about computer hardware, all that stuff. It's good. It's great. But then I had this random guy pop in. He's like, is the neckbeard a choice or, you know, a side effect? Yeah, you were there. Yeah, I was like, okay, first off, bud, it's not a neckbeard because there's no hair on the neck, okay?
I have
it's
a neck
chin
beard.
strap.
If you want to see a fucking neck beard.
Nah, it's not even a neck beard. You got like a goatee going on with a slight stash.
True, but it goes like
oh, okay. Well, it goes down. Yeah. Like I tend to keep the line. Like, I don't let it grow down my neck.
See, I don't mind it because it adds more hair in the back and it's not see-through.
Yeah.
So like, as long as I'm like combing it up and to make it like kind of bushier, then it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, it's been getting super hot outside, so I have been highly considering just shaving it off, and because this amount of growth is like, we're going on a year some now of me just trying to see what it will do, because I've never let it grow this long.
Man, speaking of long, this hair, It's getting there.
Yeah, your hair is long now. I don't even remember what you look like with short hair, honestly.
Yeah, back when like it was military days, I had to have that. So, oof.
Yeah, the good old military days. See, for me, like, I basically keep my hair this length all the time now because it's so hot.
Well, I remember even when I had the hard hat on, I fucking hated having my long hair because
Yeah,
it just
that's
was so
that's
dumb.
the difference. Once you put that hard hat on, you will go bald. You don't even care. You
Yeah.
just like get all of the heat away from me.
As long as I got a crew that's not gonna fuck with my hard hat, I usually just stick my hair in a ponytail and put it through in between the strap and whatever, and it works fine.
Yeah,
Absolutely
okay.
fine. But like, if I've got somebody I know is just gonna fuck with it and like try and rip my goddamn hair out, flip off my hard hat,
Oh, that'll hurt. You don't want
like a couple dipshits at HP, I know tried to before.
Trevor.
But yeah, that one.
Throwback. Yeah.
But the Nickelback hater himself.
Okay.
Um,
Nickelback is trash.
I like some of their songs because of the message they have, not like the ramble that has like a Theory of a Dead Man feel. But
Look at this graph.
look at this fucking giraffe. But no, like Never Again really was a good song, and that's the one I will always use because it has the most powerful message. It's like, you don't fucking hit women. You don't have power over this woman.
Yeah.
Yada yada. Like, that was a really strong point for them. Like, Chad Kroger may have stolen Avril Lavigne when I said, no, this chick is mine. Fuck you. But all in all,
what's that song? Burn It to the Ground. I thought that was really good. I really liked the initial, like the riff, like the main guitar riff. For
oh
that.
yeah, it was good.
But Chad is such a douche.
Oh, he is. He is. Like, when I went and saw them live, because Pretty Reckless was there, and Taylor Momsen.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But because that was the chick that also played Cindy Lou Who back in the Grinch days. She went.
Yeah, the Pretty Reckless singer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, what
Taylor
a change that was, eh?
I felt confused at that concert. I was like,
my inner 12-year-old is crying because it doesn't know what happened.
It's like, I should not have a boner, but at the same time,
I really didn't want you to go there. I didn't want you to go there, but you went there. That's what I was hinting at. That's why I said my inner 12-year-old is crying. But yeah. No, it's funny. Actually, I didn't know. Honestly, I didn't know that's who that was until because my wife is a huge fan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my wife has really good taste in music. Anyway, so she's like, you know who this is, right? I'm like, no, I have no idea who that is. She's like, yeah, it's a girl from The Grinch Who Stole Christmas. I'm like, what? Are you serious?
Yeah. And absolute amazing live, by the way. Like,
yeah, my wife was saying they have a really, really fucking good.
Like, she spins that mic right around her and does like this little like almost webcam style dance, and I'm just like, oh,
whoa.
Dear Lord. Oh dear Lord.
Well, like like Pink, right? She does this crazy show off a building where she's like flipping, and she's got just the head mic attached to her, and she's like still on point, on cue with her singing.
Yeah, Pink is also really good.
That's crazy.
Anywho,
anyway, so that's pretty much all the topics we wanted to talk about today, wasn't it?
There was two, but we could probably save those for another
we
time.
Can talk about them. What did we miss?
I think though.
Oh, telemarketing. Let's get into telemarketing because I definitely want to talk about telemarketing.
Before we do, I'm going to have to go and do something.
All right.
So
you need a little break.
Yeah, we should do a top up and stuff.
Okay, no problem. Well, I actually can probably do a couple like solo bits quick. Actually, no, this is probably a good pause point anyway. In general, I'll wait for you to come back.
Yeah, because we are 2.5 hours in. So.
Yeah, so potty breaks for everybody.
All right.
Okay, so should telemarketing be banned? Where do you sit?
Well, initially, without any previous research or knowledge into it, I would have hopped on and said yes. I would have said, fuck yes, get rid of this shit. I hate these goddamn phone calls. I block them every time. But I'm looking more and more into it, especially with this article. This guy explains like what a telemarketer's goal is, and obviously we know that salespeople, it's really hard. Like we have telesolutions and all that kind of stuff that do sort of the same thing.
Oh wow, like this telemarketing is a waste of time for all involved.
So when this guy goes and explains like the actual part of telemarketing that should be done right, that we get the people who do it wrong. 90% of the phone calls we get are the people who do it wrong.
Yeah. Which is
so that's part of the problem with saying whether or not it should be banned. Also, job loss. That is a huge thing that I am going to sit there and think about is like, how many people are actually working in these call centers though? How many people are...
There's a lot of them.
Like, we would have to recreate these jobs elsewhere for people.
The unfortunate part is that a lot of the telemarketing is happening offshore. There is quite a bit of it that are in the native countries to the businesses that they're discussing, but there is a lot of offshore telemarketing that's happening.
So it's hard to say yes to banning it when looking at a global perspective of impact.
Well, the way I sit is I agree with this guy. Ban all of it. Legal harassment conducted by useless non-talent. That's important because they're fucking boring. Non-talent garbage. If they lose their jobs, they should take that as a sign to go get skills in something useful. Engineering, cyber defense, or simple trade. I don't necessarily agree with that. Somebody's got to flip my hamburger. For reasonable telemarketing, there is a valid argument for responsible child abuse. Okay, well, I don't necessarily agree with that part. These are loathsome people that see nothing wrong with waking up my sick daughter minutes after she falls asleep. Well, see, back in the day when we had a landline, because there was a time, children, listen closely. Grandpa's gonna tell you something. People had landlines before cell phones.
My aunt just got rid of hers, like 2
My
weeks
mom
ago.
still has hers for her alarm system in the house.
That makes sense, but that's your mother.
Well, and my grandfather still uses that. That's the main way that I can call him, is through his landline. Because he doesn't have Facebook, he doesn't have internet,
Yeah.
And he's got a limited minutes phone, like cell phone, that he only uses for emergencies when he leaves the city. But anyway, yeah, I fucking can't stand telemarketers, but I love to screw with them.
Yeah.
I let them do their spiel, and then if they're trying to sell something, I take them all the way to the point of just before sale, and I'm like, fuck you, have a good day, click. So that means that instead of them calling 18 other people in the next 40 minutes and harassing them, I've wasted that whole 40 minutes of their time, because a lot of these telemarketing companies, you have like a limited amount of minutes per day that you can call, right? There's more common in India than anything else. But anyway, so I use up all of the minutes, and I can't call anybody else that day. So I hopefully save a few people from being harassed by these guys. Now, I started paying for like an unlisted phone number from MTS just before we moved. Like my last 2 phone numbers were paid for unlisted, and yet still telemarketers would call. So I went to MTS. I was like, yo, this is an unlisted number. How do they have it? Because I don't put the phone number on any accounts with anything. They're like, well, we don't know. I'm like, then you have to refund me the unlisted charge, because like that was a waste of fucking money.
Did they?
No, they didn't. Obviously, MTS is fucking cancer. However, here I've noticed telemarketing I've never had a telemarketing call in the whole year and a half I've been in Europe. Which is interesting. Because it tells me that's not how they're advertising. If they're advertising at all, that is. Because you'd be surprised how many companies don't really just advertise and it's all word of mouth. And they have great business.
Yeah, that's true. Now, I don't know if you want my take, but this first guy here on the right, this guy who actually goes
The
through...
top one? I'm a telemarketer? Smiley face?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when he goes and explains everything, like, this is what I'm talking about when I say this guy right here is what made me kind of think, like, of what actual telemarketing is, rather than the rabble that we see.
Okay.
So he goes, it's like, he even admits it himself. He's like, an imp of Satan myself, you may think telemarketers are some kind of talentless, avaricious morons whose only goal is to irritate and upset you. It isn't the case. It's saying that they're running them incorrectly, or that they're just looking for the quick buck.
Yeah.
Like, this guy's 50 years old, so already he has an XIT professional degree in English, and like he's a well-versed guy, and also a telemarketer. So that's what persuades me as well, is that this guy actually went out, learned some skills, and is doing this properly and correctly. So it's just a form of sales communication and the ability to listen without jumping the gun or finding the next page in a sheet that tells you the answers to every manipulative speech.
Well, a lot of it though is a script.
Yeah, I used to work at Telesolutions.
That's right, you did. Who else do we know that used to? I knew a couple people who worked for them.
You wouldn't know them. I know people from my old high school before I came to St. Anne's.
Okay.
But he was one of the head guys there, and he's not too bright. I still hated that guy. He wasn't too bright. And he was just like, man, yeah, you just got to read the script. You just got to be up about it, positive, and, it always works out. I usually average about 50 sales per 2 hours. Yada, yada.
Really? 50 in 2 hours?
Yeah.
Is he doing a little extra on the side? You know what I mean?
I'm giving a little, but either way, I sat there. I'm like, man, this feels wrong. What I did in that job is I talked to people who were like honestly looking for those type of shits. Like they were just like, yeah, I want some subscriptions and stuff. I like sports. Give me that shit. Yeah. And for the people that didn't, I rarely would go to the strip. Well, apparently my mind's on other things. Script. and I would just talk to them like they're human beings. Because that's what I couldn't do it. I felt like terrible. But if I were to go and follow what this guy says about proper telemarketing and the sales call and stuff, I wouldn't have felt as shitty working at Telus if it was run like that.
See, the other difference with telemarketing, right, is I think it's less common today than it was 10 years ago.
Oh, absolutely.
Because, like, most people don't actually answer their cell phone, let's be honest. If you have your phone rings 10 times a day, how many of those are you actually answering?
I'm a bad person.
Your contacts, right?
I'm a bad person to say that to, because I hate texting. I fucking hate texting. I will call somebody 9 out of 10 times.
See, I will usually tell someone to stop calling me and just text me, because, like, don't call me. I'm not gonna. Well, the other thing too is because I work construction, the little speaker in my phone at the top ends up just full of crap, and I can't get it out, and then I can't hear anything anymore. So I only end up being able to talk on speaker, and I'm not gonna do that everywhere. Or if I have my headphones on, then I can use the microphone built into the headphones.
Yeah, and like when I'm working, if I get a phone call, it's going in my front pocket. And it's on speaker, and I'm going because I'm still taping. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. Or if Or if you're a real sophisticated douche, you got a pair of iPad or AirPods.
AirPods. Yeah.
I saw this kid. Okay, so something. Fashion trends are not the same amongst teenagers in North America as they are with Europeans because they are all wearing sport wear like tracksuits, Nike, Adidas, all that shit. And they got the big shoes. They have their little Tommy Hilfiger purse. It's a purse. No matter what you say, if it's like a man's wallet with a strap, it's a purse. Stop wearing them. Anyway. And they all have the same haircut. And they all got AirPods. I'm like, you look like such a douche.
Yeah. Here's another thing too. Is I forgot to say this. This is actually also a good tidbit. Some telemarketing is for fundraising too, for things for like firefighters or drives for certain charities and stuff. Some companies have those type of calls where they send them out.
How many of them realistically? 2% maybe.
Well, I'll have to get back to you on the numbers. Maybe we can touch base on this later. But
touch base? What are you, 40? Touch base? Okay.
Hold on. Let me explain. My aunt was the third best lawyer in Manitoba. Okay? I have learned quite a few phrases and terms that I just use to this day.
Look at this one. Ban the bastards. No legitimate businesses use telemarketing. I have to kind of disagree.
I disagree with that.
The contact rate, not to mention the successful sale rate, is so small that only scams can justify the practice. It's because it's what they're good at. Scammers are good at it because people are dumb.
Absolutely.
If you see that pop-up window and you call the number, I'm sorry, but you deserve to have your money taken from you. It's like people who buy lottery tickets.
Oh God.
Because the lottery is just a stupid tax.
I used to buy a ticket here and there when I was bored.
I've never bought a ticket once. I've been to a casino one time. I put a $5 bill, because in Canada, that's the smallest paper bill. Anyway, I put a $5 bill in the machine. I was hanging out with my friend, and she was telling me kind of like how to play the machine, because I honestly have never seen the machine before, right? So I do minimum bet, boom, kind of spin it a couple times, jackpot. So I put $5 in, and I won $120. So we had a really nice lunch because we didn't continue. We just quit. I was like, well, this lunch was good.
See, I've had quite a few experiences in casinos because a lot of people I know like that, and like I'm not opposed to it. I did like.
It's just I understand that with casinos, the house always wins. Even if you walked out with more money than you walked in with, the house always wins. Because even if you win, that guy just went broke, So they're not losing.
It's all about it was basically just what we were talking about before, your income versus your output.
Yep.
It's just like that's how casinos run and operate. There's a South Park episode that explains this perfectly. All right.
I mean, I know people from Winnipeg that every 2 weeks on payday, they spend 3/4 of their check on tickets.
Yep.
Or they go to the casino. And I just asked them, I was like, why? What is your end goal? What are you hoping for?
Did you mean Grant?
No, I'm trying not to name drop, okay?
Okay.
But yeah, so it's really unfortunate to see people do that to themselves. Or people who buy shit tons of scratch tickets, And like, because you've been to 7-Eleven recently, right?
Yes.
You know, the lotto machine. So you get that guy, that old guy who comes in with his stack of like 10 or 15 tickets, and you hear ba-ding, oh, ba-ding, oh, ba-ding, woohoo, and it's like $1.50.
Yep.
He's like, oh, I'm out ahead. No, you spent $42 on all those tickets, and you won $1.50. You're not ahead.
And a couple of free tickets. Whoa.
Oh yeah, play again. You want a free play. Woo! And it's just a vicious cycle. It's not a rabbit hole. Yeah, it's not a rabbit hole that I want to go down.
It's the rope. It's
pulling you down. Now I see the merit in things like the hospital. You know the hospital lottery in Winnipeg, where they have like a house or something.
Yes.
Is a jackpot. At least the hospital is receiving those funds. So
yeah, like that's,
okay,
that's something that I'm okay with.
that's fine. But
Anything to do with nurses, hospitals, or care centers, I am on board for. That's why I kind of wish that, things turned out differently in last electoral period. But
well, the problem is that in Canada, the next 4 years are gonna be a fucking waste of time because nothing's gonna get done.
no, it's really not.
When you end up with a minority government, actually, we're probably going to be re-electing in 2 years. Let's be honest, because it happened before under Harper's minority government. We just ended up going back to the polls.
Yeah, and who's to say history won't repeat itself?
It always does. Always does.
Yeah.
But look at this voting spread. 7% said no.
Yeah. I'm kind of shocked on it. Like,
fuck telemarketing. All they do is harass people. It works great. What? It doesn't work. People have to eat. Yeah, okay, sure. I understand that there are going to be shit jobs that somebody's got to do. Even if nobody wants to do them, somebody's got to do it, right?
yeah. I like this person at the end that's like, I miss calls from real people.
I miss calls from not robots. Yeah, you know when you answer the phone,
They are real people.
So you answer the phone, and you're like, hello, and there's nothing. You go, hello, and there's nothing. So you do the third hello, and suddenly they pick up.
Yeah.
I'm like, goddamn, they got me again, you know?
Yep. These are real people. Okay, for anyone who doesn't understand telemarketing, 95% of it is real people. They have a script. They have the tone.
Like some of the companies have an intro bot.
Yes.
Where they'll do like a really fast transfer over to whoever's waiting on the other line.
Mm-hmm. It's just to save for a smoother transition.
It is destroying my daily life. Okay, I know that in Canada there's lots. But how much is in the States? Because I know that in the States it's like constant.
I actually have my buddy who showed me, because I wanted to get really in depth on this. I got a picture here I'm gonna look at real quick. So he sent me his daily phone because he doesn't call anybody. He doesn't give a shit, call anybody at all.
Okay.
He showed me his recent phone, and over the course of a week. So every morning, roughly telemarketer time, whatever.
Okay.
Or so like 3 to 4 or 9 to 10, and even like 6 to 7.
Okay.
Would be like regular times for telemarketing in the States, apparently. He would send me pictures of how many different types of calls he got. Now they're all on the block list. So they're all like exited out, but they still go through enough for you to see that they called.
Yeah.
He had, from the morning period, he had 15 on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Wow. That's a lot of telemarketing calls.
Tuesday, Thursday, he had 5.
Okay, so there's obviously they're picking specific days to make their targeted calls then.
Yes. And then in the early afternoon portion, the 3 to 4, on Mondays and Thursdays, he had 12 and 14. on Tuesdays alone, he had one.
Jesus Christ.
And then the Friday on Wednesday he had none. On Friday, he had 5. So it's like, okay, so they're more heavy in the morning when people are just getting to work.
Yeah.
Okay. Now for the evening period calls, he had just every day was hectic, except for Wednesday.
Except for Wednesday.
So Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, during those periods, he had an average of 13 calls.
This is a good question, actually. Is telemarketing legal in Europe?
And I was just baffled at how many times, and I didn't even bother asking about weekends. I didn't even want to know. If that's just your work period, I don't even want to know what weekends are like. But holy shit, I don't know if it was just him or if that's how the States runs.
Oh, here's interesting.
Oh.
You see that? Prohibited in the European Union.
Well,
You are only allowed to call private people with their explicit consent. That's why I'm not getting telemarket calls. Because they're not legal here. Look at this United States company-specific lists, state lists, the National DNC Registry. Holy fuck, you call everybody.
Yeah, no wonder he's getting like
the UK,
what is that?
you can call everybody.
40 a day.
Australia. Is this Australia or New Zealand? Probably Australia or the area. I know it's like the reverse color, right? Anyway, only the DNC list. Canada, national DNC list, and internal DNC list. Okay. And then there's India. Nobody gives a fuck. We're going to call you. So that is interesting. Abandoned calls, 3% over 30 days. Canada, 5%. European Union, for the duration of the campaign, 3%. Interesting.
Yeah, no.
Well, we learned something new today.
We did. It's absolutely nutty to think about this, though. Like, just how much a person can get called because no company knows who's calling who.
You know what's funny? So I've watched YouTube videos where they get one telemarketer talking to another telemarketer via the phones, and the whole conversation just full loops itself. They're like, "Wait, huh?" Or you get the pizza guys. You get Domino's talking to Pizza Hut.
John's. Oh my god! I saw the Domino's and Papa John's one. Ooh, that was heated.
Hi, you calling Papa John's? Yeah, this is Domino's. Oh man.
God. Those ones, I feel so
in
bad.
conclusion, telemarketing is just it's an situation.
So like if it's done properly, no, don't ban it.
But if it's completely
unraveled,
unregulated and shitty,
yes, I would think people need to find something else. Like maybe be an actor if you can bullshit that well.
Not everybody can. At least if it was just more entertaining. Like, I want something fun. If you're going to call me to sell me something, entertain me.
Yeah, honestly.
So what was our last topic? So we got Diablo done.
Microtransactions.
Okay. Is this local versus buy? I don't think you sent me a link for that.
I did.
I might have accidentally closed it. Let me check the Discord.
It was mainly pertaining
local
to...
buy. Why do mobile gaming... You know, we never actually had a proper discussion on the fake ads.
Oh. Well...
Stop using fake ads. Make real games.
Yes. Concluded.
So I got telemarketing. And yeah, no, you never sent me a link.
Wow. Could have sworn I did. Yeah, it's right there. But... Oh, okay, it failed to load. Hold on. No. No, that's not what I wanted. Excuse me, bitch.
Because I gotta read this too.
Okay. Copy. Bam.
ongoing
I
controversy
totally-
of microtransactions in game.
I totally sent it to you. It was the first thing I sent you.
Oh, this is the other Forbes one. Oh god damn. Yeah, ad block. Let me pause it.
I totally sent it to you.
Oh, it's probably I was like, this looks boring. Oh yeah, look that what a disaster. Look at this. Holiday sales.
It looks horrible. But
Okay.
It-
Before we even touch this with a selfie stick, because this is gonna be bad. I
gonna be a rough.
fucking can't stand microtransactions in games that I've already paid the game price.
yes, for free games, yes, totally
Freemium
fine.
gaming is a whole other fucking mess by itself. But in games, like single player games like Shadow of Mordor and stuff,
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Red Dead
as
Redemption
well.
2,
Oh, that one pissed me off so hard.
you know, I've already bought the game. GTA 5 is another one with the
Yep.
shark cards. I understand. I wholeheartedly understand that these are optional, and I typically don't buy them. But like I see this every freaking day on the internet. How can I reverse charges on Xbox Live because my kid just bought like $700 in Fortnite skins? Like, fuck. Why? First off, as a parent, why is your credit card on your Xbox Live account? You're asking for that to happen.
Yeah. My dad would have beat my ass. So I didn't.
My mother never once used her credit card on our online games accounts. She's like, if you want to buy these games, you need to go to the co-op to get the PlayStation card or the Xbox card, whatever you're gonna do, and you can do that because she's like, I'm not fucking. Because you remember when PSN got hacked
Yep.
and all those credit card numbers got leaked?
Yep.
Yeah, that's exactly what she was fearing, and she was right because it did happen.
Absolutely. And it's just like, you can't just do that.
No, sorry, sir, but that's a big no-no. So, EA Games, first off, stands for Eat Ass Games. Is a bad company to work for. They have poor business practices. But
Money.
Look at this! Cosmetic is okay, 68.6%.
Ugh.
No. None of it's okay. In a paid game, if you've already paid in Canada $80 for a brand new game, it's not okay.
Nope. Not one bit.
In Europe, games are still $60 like they are in the States. Because the currencies are like level with each other basically. But in Canada, because the fucking currency's in the tank, games are so expensive already, and people are like, oh yeah, no, it's fine. It's totally fine. It's all good.
Yeah. I like how it's I am a fan 1.3%, the lowest percentage.
I'm okay. This is called fake. This is not real people. I'd rather pay up front. This should be such a bigger fucking piece of the pie.
It really should be.
Dislike
don't
pay to
purchase
win.
them.
Why is dislike pay to win only 22%? Who likes that? Who wants a pay to win? Like, is it people who can't take the L? I'm sorry? You can't take the L, so you got to pay to win?
I could say that mobile RTS players in like Russia, Japan, all that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but what about... Can you... Okay, so let's talk about League of Legends for a second. Or even Dota 2.
Okay.
Let's put a shit ton of pay-to-win microtransactions in Dota 2. What happens to the Championship League play?
It doesn't fucking exist is what happens.
It's gone. It's fucking gone. CSGO, gone. CSGO has already got its own problem with lottery. First off, encouraging children to gamble is a felony offense. Why are you not being held accountable? Oh, because it's not really gambling. They literally put a casino, a functional casino in Grand Theft Auto 5. My brother and I, we bought the penthouses so that we could park our helicopters and shit at the casino. So we go in there for the first time, and we're like, Yep. That's a casino. That's a real casino. The issue is, if you're going to have a real casino in a game, you got to get rid of the microtransactions, because people are spending real fucking money on shark cards and using them at the Diamond Casino.
Yep.
I don't get it. Like, so Joe and I we were playing blackjack. We played blackjack at the high roller table. Neither of the two of us have ever put any real money, in-game currency, like the GTA cash in it. We only got the login bonus and your visitor bonus every day. And the two of us have like hundreds of thousands of chips already, because we're just sitting there playing blackjack, because it's cyclable. It has a pattern. You can't count cards because it's like the deck is infinite. But eventually you get this cycle pattern where it goes a bunch of face cards and high number cards, and then suddenly you're going to have this huge spurt of like aces, 3s, 4s, and 6s. It's a real casino. They have like coin machines with levers. And they make announcements in the casino saying, XYZ player has just won the jackpot at blank insert name here slot machine. So obviously you're like, oh, I gotta go play that slot machine. Because it's the same mentality in Vegas.
Oh, absolutely.
It's insane. How is that legal? I get it. GTA 5 is rated 17 plus. 17-year-olds cannot go into casinos. 18-year-olds in some provinces and all states cannot go into casinos. So where's the line?
It's been brushed over.
You had that CS:GO Lotto scandal. You had, who else is doing it right now? Who else is it? I know there's another company that's doing it. Oh, you know those like mystery boxes that you could bet on?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you have a 80% chance of there being an Apple Watch in the box if you give us $600. Just go buy an Apple Watch.
Right? Like, it's only...
It's already $600.
Yeah, no, it just... Some people are just dumb. They don't know the concept of investments and money, and
they don't understand that they're being toyed with. That's the thing. A lot of people don't know that they're being toyed with.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, microtrans and free games, that's fine. It's a free game. They got to make money. We get it. As long as it's not a pay-to-win factor.
So, I really dislike the second pie. Does gaming give you value for your money? Why is this relevant to microtransactions? Who first off, this is Forbes, right? So who is your sample? Rich people.
I need some.
It's Forbes.
Yeah.
Like you and I, we're not part of the Forbes sample. You know? The future of gaming seems to be microtransactions, but it shouldn't be. It needs to not be.
Yeah, like they took. Okay, I'm gonna just vent this real quick because it pissed me the fuck off. You know, Plants vs Zombies.
Yeah, that's actually a fun game.
So when EA took the fuck over for the mobile,
yeah,
they made it 100% microtransactions for you to be able to play past the first set.
Seriously?
Yes.
No way.
Yes.
Dude, I still play Plants vs. Zombies on my iPad.
I still play it on my Xbox every now and then. I still have like the actual 360 game.
Yeah.
And I also have Garden Warfare.
Okay, so, Garden Warfare was cheeky as hell.
It was, but I enjoyed it.
You know, in World of Warcraft, they put Plants vs. Zombies in World of Warcraft?
Yeah.
I stumbled across it one day. I'm like, wait, this is Plants vs. Zombies. 100%. But you got an achievement. There was a gear drop. It was cool. But yeah, they put Plants vs. Zombies in there. But yeah, so there's a game, Simpsons Tapped Out.
Oh yes,
I've been
my
playing it
father
for
plays that
so
so much.
long, and I have never once put a single dollar worth of donuts into that game, and I have all the shit.
Mm-hmm.
Not like the stuff that is donuts only and never comes out as normal experience. But for me, I would just go bloop bloop bloop, done, sign up for the day, and then in the morning, wake up, take my morning shit. Collect my income tax, assign people to jobs, because I would only ever do people on 24-hour jobs. The best way to make money. And I have so many characters now, it takes like 40 minutes to assign everybody to a job. But you can enjoy free games without ever putting a dollar into it. Now, I want to state, so a game like War Thunder is a free game. A free game that me and Tamamo love to play. So I have purchased things from the premium store to support this game because I like it. This becomes a bit of a gray area. You know what I mean? Because the same thing can be applied to like a freemium game on your phone. Oh, I like it. I'm going to spend all my money on it. The thing is that War Thunder doesn't put it in your face. It's not forced in your face.
Yeah, it's just in the store. It's there, and it's just cosmetic. If it's a free game, and it's not a pay-to-win content, microtransactions, English, is okay. It is good. It is fine. It helps the company make money and produce more content for the game. However, if you, like Mobile Legends, for example, produce a shit ton where when you log in, you have 7 full screens you have to click exit out of microtransaction content.
Of shit to buy.
For a pay-to-win game in the first place, because skins for your characters give you stat boosts, which is not okay.
That's no longer just cosmetic.
Yeah, it is not okay and gives you an edge for someone who may be a better player now has to deal with a disadvantaged stat boost in game, and they're going to win in the trade-off.
But we know for a fact that money doesn't equal skill.
Exactly. It doesn't, but
we see that happen every day.
It does give a distinct disadvantage to those who are better.
Yeah, I agree.
So that is where I have my biggest issues with microtransactions. But as I said, if it's not a pay to win, it's a free game, and you're just sitting there, and it's in a store like War Thunder. It's cool. It's perfectly okay. It helps the company make money.
There was a game content a couple years ago, Star Trek Trexels.
Oh yes.
Everything was like a time wall, right? But it was also a fucking paywall, because to do anything, you had to spend so much goddamn money. And I'm not even a Star Trek fan, so I didn't play the game, but I watched a bunch of reviews and people talking about this. I'm like, this is fucking insane. So I downloaded it, I installed it, and just to get through step 1, it was 24 hours, or you could spend 300 crystals. Fuck you.
Yep. And that's also what in those mobile RTSs always comes back to those. Once you get into the later part where you're running a guild, clan, and a whole bunch of other shit, that's where it becomes tough not to spend the money. Because now you're sitting there, you have a whole bunch of people, some new, some not, and if they're spending money and you're not, and you're the leader, well, now you just are underwhelming to the rest of your people.
Clash of Clans was a game that I tried to enjoy, but I kept getting pissed off at, because I'd go to bed, I'd do all my stuff for the day.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'd have some upgrades ready, maybe, and I'd come back the next morning
to
collect my money and my stuff, and it's all gone. So I can't advance, and I can't do anything, and you have a fucking shield that doesn't last long enough for you to actually recoup any losses. Because that guy from Korea has raided you 4 times. So stop playing. And I also never put any money into Clash.
that's problem I always had. With later on, people couldn't get the shields up for when they were going to do something for more than 4 hours.
Yeah.
That was my rule of thumb. If you're going to do something that's 3, maybe 4 hours long, put a shield up.
I think
Yeah, otherwise,
you got to buy shields, right? So you got to have resources.
and if you're on active enough, you can purchase it through Clan Store.
Yeah.
Almost 90% of the time, you can. If you're going to buy anything else from there, you're screwing yourself over. Like those little farm boosters or whatever, those aren't going to do shit for you.
Yeah.
You need to buy those shields, especially during events that give you boost for raiding enemies. Like, it's just a no-brainer. And Clan Wars, holy fuck, did we have those tactics where we would have 1,000,000 shields and we'd teleport bases, jump in, raid, jump back, shield up. Like, those tactics exist.
Yeah. But the problem with microtransactions started off small, right? Because, like, for example, I want to say that World of Warcraft had microtransactions back in the day because you could buy mounts.
Yeah.
Now, you could buy character boosts. You could buy WoW tokens, which you can sell for like 200,000 or something gold, whatever.
Yep.
You know, like I am guilty of having purchased mounts in World of Warcraft back in the day.
Mm-hmm. It's funny. I just got one for playing Hearthstone.
But I never, like, when I bought the expansion, like, I still have a character boost, and I just never found a character I wanted to boost. But I'd never thought, hey, I'm gonna spend $80 and boost a character to max level. You know?
Yeah.
Because, like, for me, I like the level grind. It's fun.
I still remember the old days in WoW.
But I know people who hate level grinding. And that's why those boosts exist, for the people who either don't have the time to dedicate, which I get. People who are working all the time don't have time to sit there and, you know, grind out levels till they can raid with their friends.
Yeah, my roommate has 2 120 boosts on her. Like, she plays strictly WoW. I don't think I've seen her on, like, almost any other game.
Okay.
And she has 2 boosted characters to 120, and then once she gets any other character, like, up to, I think it was 60 or 70, she said, that she just stops and makes another character.
Okay, so
Like a
something
different
about
character.
World of Warcraft that really needs to be... Okay, so World of Warcraft is a game. So you spend...
Yeah.
Let's say you've been playing WoW since day one. So we're on the 15-year anniversary. See if you go 15
Mm-hmm.
times... Sorry,
Are
no.
you trying
Yeah,
to
yeah,
say
it's
it's a
15.99. What is the sub fee in Canada? 18 bucks? 18.99
Yeah, 18.99.
times 12. You're spending $227 a year to play WoW.
Yeah.
You spent $3,400 in the last 15 years playing World of Warcraft.
And that's not including...
How many
anything that we
expansions do we have? 9 expansions?
buy. 9. Yeah. And they're each like...
Okay,
Well, I
so
remember
if we go
it used to be $60.
60 times 9. So you spend $540 on the expansions
Mm-hmm.
plus 60 for the base game. So we go
So,
plus
600.
34. 18 equals $4,000. Not including if you've ever bought a Spectral Tiger mount, because those are like $4,000.
Yeah.
Or if you've ever used the Real Money Auction House or whatever, anything else. And not this is just subscriptions, you know,
And base
expansions and base game. This is how much money you spent in 15 years.
Fuck. Well, I'm not one of those.
It adds up. That's why I
It
like
sure does.
That's why I like Diablo so much, because I know that, so if I spend $120 on Diablo, flat out.
Yep.
You know? And so if I divide that amongst 360 hours, This is how much money I've spent per hour of entertainment in Diablo. I've definitely got my value out of Diablo, as opposed to WoW or anything else.
Yeah.
So,
Like-
microtransactions, though, in other games... Like, Star Wars Battlefront wasn't a good game anyway.
There really wasn't.
There really
The
wasn't.
original.
The
original
back in
was-
the day. But, like, the
were
ones
so
that they
good.
remade here for... Like, they sold you Darth Vader.
Yeah.
And you bought it. You guys bought Darth Vader from EA. Disappointed. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Yeah. And for those of you that are like kids trying to sneak in here, you're gonna hear that a lot from your parents if you do these things.
Oh my god, that's a classic line. All you gotta say to your parents is "Okay, boomer," because they're just like they'll just roll their eyes and walk away.
I'm pretty sure my dad. If I said "Okay, boomer" to my dad, there's a backhand coming for me.
Oh fuck yeah, your dad's gonna beat your ass. Your dad, when he's 70, will beat your ass.
My dad in his grave will beat my ass. Let's be real.
Yeah. This is a thing that doesn't happen with kids often nowadays. Like, there's what is the consequence for being a shitty child?
Like,
Oh, you can't do that. Let me take away your iPad. Oh, son, I'm gonna put you over my knee because you are about to learn.
yeah, and like, I can see people's arguments for not wanting to just make your kids fearful, if for physical punishment, whatever, and make it okay to do to just anybody. I can see that point of view. I can. But all I can say if I say off of my own experience, I saw it differently. Me personally, if I've ever been physically disciplined by my father or by my mother, it was not taken in a moment of fear.
Mm-hmm.
It was taken in, I fucked up, and this is what's gonna happen. I'm still trying to get out of it, but this
I'm gonna
is
see
what's
what
gonna
I can
happen.
do to fix it. But
I'm gonna
this is-
finagle my way out of it, but
I'm gonna sweet talk the hell out of this. Yeah.
But this is what was coming to me.
Yeah, I don't really
So
want to
it's
get
not-
into childhoods, but
Yeah, that's-
physical violence was a huge proponent of my upbringing.
It
so,
was a heavy impact.
yeah, and I think a lot of people from our generational group
Will atone to that.
will have had that happen. My wife is not one of those people. She's never spanked.
Oh,
But there's also some downsides to that because she's got some attitude some days.
I am not
gonna say
going...
though, not gonna lie though, well deserved because I'm a dick some days.
Only some.
Yeah. Just
You've toned down.
just do your goddamn dishes. It's your day. Do the dishes. Okay? Because we share all the chores, right? It's a flip cycle.
If it's
But
not
like
done
when
like that,
when I
then-
see it's my turn, I do it, and there's always like 3 or 4 dishes left. She lets them stack.
Huh?
So it's like, this is why you hate them, because you always have so many to do.
Do it after the major meals is what
Yeah.
I always had to do.
Well, for us, we have one, and on weekends we have 2 major meals together. We have brunch, because she doesn't wake up till noon, and we have dinner. During the week, we just have dinner. Because I get up early in the morning and I go to work.
Yeah. And that's what it was like. Like, it's when I would go home, like to my dad's place, there would be no pile of dishes. It was done after lunch.
Yeah.
Supper would always be huge. If my dad's cooking, every goddamn dish in the house is dirty.
I know your
like-
dad cooks well.
Like,
But the dude's got a
extremely
new
well.
spoon for everything.
Like, my dad is a great cook, but goddamn would I wish he would not use
Just
every damn
Please
dish
stop
in the
using 11 bowls for mixing.
house.
Uh, super funny.
That's-
For me, I'm the type of guy who just rinses the same spoon off in the sink to mix. Like if I gotta mix the egg and then I gotta mix spice, whatever. I'm just gonna rinse this spoon. I'm gonna use one spoon.
I burn everything off of my pans so I can use it for something else.
Yeah, speaking of burning everything, my wife is killing my cooking apparel.
Oh.
Not everybody was given and taught the skills of the culinary arts by their grandparents or their parents. But what you don't do is take a metal spoon to my KitchenAid cookware.
I'm inverted just from that.
Mm-hmm. So
Oh,
I have
feels...
2 pots that everything sticks to now because the coating is destroyed.
Press F in chat, boys.
F's in the chat for my cookbook. And actually, just the other day, so I have this like water squirt bottle for sauce. It's like craft. Yeah, it's cheap, but I can't actually find another one. Anyway, so she had it like sitting right next to the element. I have no idea why, but she had it sitting there, and she left the element on. And then I'm like, so I walk in the kitchen. I'm like, what are you doing? And so it was like half melted. So now that's just another thing that's been destroyed.
I don't know if this is gonna fuck it up if I move the camera slightly.
Like physically or just the Discord?
Physically.
Oh, interesting.
You gonna try?
No, I think you're good. There you go.
Okay, thank God. Like just poof.
But yeah, so
Triggered the bomb.
Microtransactions in a paid game are really bad. I don't care if it's just cosmetic. And I really am bothered when it's like advantage because it's really bad. Oh, so congratulations on the United States for finally arresting a murderous cop.
Right? Fucking shit.
But that's all we're going to say about that. I think that's probably a good point for us to wrap up. We've done our topics.
Absolutely.
So thank you guys for those who came, those who hung out, those who were just listening, Tune in next Saturday, same time. More topics, more shenanigans, more bullshit,
More drinking.
And more drinking. But thanks for coming in, guys.
Adios.